We are live. What up, YouTube?
There we go. Nice intro.
Yeah, right? Oh, no, he edits all this in post-production. We have our little Freddie Benson over there with Mick. Like I said, he has his whole
Just so you know, I don't see anything. It says waiting for Diamond in the Rough podcast.
Oh, no, it's here. I see it.
Oh,
yeah,
is
it's
it?
here.
Yeah, it's
there
here.
we go. All right.
I'm going to post this. If y'all could monitor it, let me know if it sounds good or not. And, yeah, I'll start the intro here. Nate Greenberg, 30 minutes late. All right, damn. Just gonna,
Hey, dude, you're sitting there waiting.
a little
for us.
aggressive.
He's that man's ready to go. He said, "Man, I've been waiting, bro."
It's like, let's talk
He's
some
always
AL
the first
Central,
one.
baby. Let's go.
Dude,
I love Nate.
Nate, whenever I hit the live button, he's there. He's fucking there.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
No, bro, he's how I
Stream
get my
phone.
news. Here's how I get my news. Like, Ohtani hit a home run the other day. He's like, Ohtani bomb. And I'm like, I mean, I saw the noti, but he was damn near ahead of the MLB notification, honestly.
Oh yeah.
All right. So if you're future Mick Miller editing this is where you should probably cut to. Anyways. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Diamond in the Rough podcast. We are joined today by two goats, of course, in Raycheesy and my boy Thune, Austin Thune, to be exact. We're going to be talking about the American League Central, doing some previews today. Obviously, Thune's a big Twins fan. I'm a big Chicago Whites fan. White Sox, I meant to say that. That's definitely not what I meant to say there. Anyways,
we are hammering the edit button right now. Oh my God.
Nick Theriault is a big Royals fan, and Raycheesy is a temporary Tigers fan, and of course Mick Miller will be our temporary Cleveland baseball team Spiders fan, whatever they're going to be called this year. If you guys want to check us out on Spotify, we can be found over there. That link will be in the description. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at DIR Podcast, and our boys Thune and Raycheesy. Thune, where can we find you guys at, or where can we find you at specifically?
You could pretty much type my name in anywhere if you have the knowledge of typing it all the way out with the 4 U's that are in it, and you'd probably find me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere else you'd expect to find somebody.
Beautiful. And then Raycheesy, I believe
Yep.
a little easier than the 4 U's.
I was just saying, yep, just my name that's on here: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everything. Everything's the same on here.
Dope. And I assume the 21's for Roberto Clemente, right?
It is favorite player of all time. So excited, man. So excited I'm in the game.
Super dope. Of course, he just got announced as the MLB The Show 21, one of our legends. Super excited for that. I assume you guys all are, especially Ray, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course, I am your boy, NMR Sports. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram as NMR Sports. If you don't see it there, just add a 30 to it. Nick Theriault, the newest streamer of MLB The Show on Twitch. Congratulations on starting. Where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at NickTerriault12, THERIAULT. On the road to affiliate.
Yes, sir. He's grinding. He's grinding. And then MIC Miller, what's up?
MIC Miller 42, all platforms. You
Yes,
guys
sir.
know it.
It's my favorite thing to order on the McDonald's menu. Get the McMiller 42. Love it.
Dude, Charlie D'Amelio's got that Dunkin' thing. I got McDonald's next.
Yeah, right.
McDonald's.
Yeah, they're gonna have All right. Well, we are going to be talking about the team that is not called the Chicago Whites. They are called the Chicago White Sox. We're going to start off with them. They, of course, are my new favorite team because the Angels aren't going to make the playoffs. So I might as well have a team that is going to make the playoffs to root for. Now, the Chicago White Sox are absolutely stacked, of course. We're going to start off talking with their pitching. Obviously, they have a ton of young guys coming up who all throw gas and all look really good. Lucas Giolito would, I guess, of course, be their ace. They traded for Lance Lynn this offseason. Dallas Keuchel, according to Nick Theriault, is a top 10 pitcher in the major leagues. Who else they got? I believe Dylan Cease is going to be bottoming out the rotation, as well as I honestly don't know who their number 5 would be. I was expecting it to be Michael Kopech, but I've been told he's going to be starting in the bullpen this season. So we'll see. I do expect him to squeeze into the rotation at some point. They also have a absolutely stacked bullpen, adding the best closer in baseball last season in Liam Hendricks. Garrett Crochet is a MLB The Show legend. Aaron Bummer is an absolute stud. You name it. Cody Howard throws 107 miles per hour. And I think those are all like the noteworthy names I'm liking in this bullpen here. So what do you guys think of the White Sox pitching staff?
I will say, I know that. So you mentioned Michael Kopech rounding out the rotation. I believe so. They re-signed Carlos Rodon, who came up with them. He's going to be their number 5 guy. They like Dylan Cease in the 4 spot, so they're going to put Kopech in the bullpen along with Garrett Crochet. So you just got a combined like 230 miles an hour between those two guys.
Yeah.
And then they another guy who is definitely going to see MLB time, but he's not going to be in the rotation. He's actually going to start in AAA. Is Ronaldo Lopez. Hasn't figured it out yet at the big leagues. Unlike his counterpart in that trade, Lucas Giolito, who is one of my favorite pitchers. I think he's a top 10 pitcher in the baseball. If not yet, he's going to be. So those are my takes about the pitching.
As a Twins fan, I hope we see a lot more of Ronaldo Lopez as fast as possible because we love hitting Ronaldo Lopez. No, Giolito is definitely a stud. If you look at I'm a biased Twins fan, but I'm going to try to not be biased when I talk about other teams here. But Giolito, obviously a stud. I'm really excited to see a healthy Michael Kopech. I'm excited to see a healthy Dylan Cease. I think if you're the White Sox, and I mean, this is true for any team. Like we have a Yankees fan here in Mick, and like you look at the Yankees, you look at any team in baseball, you're healthy, you're going to do great. And the White Sox are some of the highest velo arms in baseball right now, collectively as a team. And if you keep everybody away from Tommy John, you keep everybody away from overusage, it's going to be a really scary pitching staff to look at.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm honestly more scared of their bullpen than I am of their rotation. I think their rotation's super top heavy, but I love their 1-2-3 punch. And if Lucas Giolito, honestly, is probably my favorite to win the Cy Young this year. I just think he's going to take that kind of leap in a full season. It's going to be kind of interesting to see because I feel like nobody's going to go out and throw. I don't know if anybody's going to throw over 200 innings next year. Probably feel like maybe throw like 170 innings at the most. But I still think he has insane potential there. Of course, he threw a no-hitter last year and he looked lights out. I think he had a no-hitter in the playoffs through like 7 or 8 innings. He was absolutely, and I think they ended up losing that game. So obviously not ideal there, but I do think that the White Sox were already amazing last year. And they're one of the most, the reason that I'm so high on the White Sox is they're such a fun, young, exciting team to watch. And all these young guys are just going to come up and like, I don't know. They're taking a lot of chances on guys, but when you have like 30 guys with a shit ton of potential, some of them are going to play well. And obviously play up to their potential at least.
I definitely think they're both like. Look, I'm trying not to tie us down with the show, but like my head, I just can't like help not tie it down with the show. Literally, they have like the glitchiest bronze bullpen like ever. I mean, you got Crochet, you got Jace Fry's another one, Cody Hewer or however you say it, Jimmy Cordero, Michael Kopech. Like literally, like if I could draft a bullpen and BR get some bronze in there, like those guys are good. Like they're set, but their bullpen, I mean, it's always gonna have a good bullpen. I mean, you try to make a long run, you know, you want to have a really good bullpen, and I think that they've definitely settled in on that.
I had to face Jay Fry earlier today in a BR game. Throws the nastiest cutter in the game.
He does.
No idea.
He does, man. He's
crazy.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Him and Aaron Bummer both have like these like cutters that like move like a foot. It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Aaron Bummer's a stud. And I kind of feel bad for him. I feel like he's kind of guy who's knocking on the door of being the closer, but then they go out and sign Liam Hendricks and just kind of be like, sorry, Aaron, you're just gonna be that 8th inning guy. Or I wouldn't consider him a lefty specialist. I'd say he's more the 8th inning guy, but yeah, stacked bullpens I'm a big fan of them. Obviously being an Angels fan, we never have a good bullpen. So when I see a good bullpen, I can definitely appreciate how much of a difference that makes. And that's another reason I have a lot of faith in this team. I'm not a huge fan of Lance Lynn, though, surprisingly. I know probably Mick Miller's not a big fan of him either after what he did to the Yankees, but I don't know. I honestly really liked what the Rangers got in a young stud in Dane Dunning compared to Lance Lynn, who I feel like could be really good for them, but he is aging. Same thing with Dallas Keuchel, but he's on the younger end, of course. And Dallas Keuchel's a very interesting guy because he doesn't strike anybody out. He has no swing and miss in his game. It's all soft contact, and he is probably the best at what he does. But at the end of the day, it's a little scary, but he always seems to find a way to come out on top. So, like I said, super big on Lucas Giolito, but not crazy big on Lance Lynn. And Dallas Keuchel is always a scary guy to have on the mound.
I mean, what I will say about Lance Lynn is that he will eat up a lot of innings because he generally throws between 175 and 200 innings per season, and he's been doing that for a long time now.
Yep.
So at least the White Sox are going to have that when he's on the mound. Not guaranteed every start, but at least whenever he goes out, you're going to feel good about your bullpen coming in late.
It's also a super important signing for Chicago too, because they have a lot of these explosive arms, and we don't really know how, like, new management coming in, like how the usage of the bullpen's going to work. Like, will he want starters to go a little bit longer than Renteria wanted? I mean, I haven't really been looking at spring training is different too, because guys throw like 40 pitches and they're done. We'll find out a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for every team, like, we'll know a lot more in May what the plan is, because April is still, like, a lot of guys' arms are opening up. But I mean, Giolito, I would consider it like more of an innings eater too. You have Lance Lynn that can do that. Dallas Keuchel, because he's such a finesse pitcher, can eat a lot of innings as well. So, I mean, you have the pieces to relax the bullpen a little bit and use them in more special roles if your starters can work the way you want them to. On paper, if everything goes according to plan, I see why a lot of people have the White Sox being their favorite out of the American League to win the or not the favorite, one of the favorites to go to the World Series.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, you remember that quote from Kevin Cash? I think it was last year, right? He has a stable of guys in the bullpen. That's kind of how I feel like. What's his fucking Tom? Is it what's his name again?
Tony La Russa.
Tony La Russa.
Tommy La Russa.
But you mentioned
La
new
Russa.
management. That's why I kind of laughed, because Tony La Russa is like 106 now.
Yeah, I know.
But one connection that I just made was Tony. I think if I'm remembering correctly, Tony La Russa retired back in 2011 after the Cardinals won the World Series, and who was a rookie on that team? None other than Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn, yeah.
So I think. And obviously, we know Lance Lynn's elbow is basically just made of steel at this point. But him being the way
you
he
just
is,
jinxed
Tony...
the entire. Oh my God! There's never been a bigger jinx.
Keep jinxing.
Oh my God,
jinxing.
dude.
No, you might be right, but my point is Tony La Russa being as like a dinosaur like he is, and Lance Lynn being the kind of pitcher that he is. I would not be surprised if Tony La Russa just tells Lance Lynn to just throw 180, 90, 200 innings this year. Like, do what you do all the time, basically.
Garrett Crochet is younger than me. I'm 21. Garrett Crochet is younger than me, dude. That just hurt to see. I'm looking at their birthdays, bro. Every single kid.
That's what I'm looking at.
June 21st, 1999.
Jeez. I'm
Dude,
20. I'm 26, so I mean,
Ah.
y'all got me feeling old here.
Bro, this man was.
I'm the old
oh
man
my
of the
God.
podcast.
No, everybody.
I'm 23.
Literally. Oh yeah,
But isn't that like the wave that baseball's been moving towards? Like, when you have guys that have a really high velo, like they don't have a long shelf life. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to bring them up to the MLB right away and try and at least work on locating a little bit. But I mean, like, Garrett Crochet's not going to be throwing 100 in like 4 years from now. It'll probably be like 97 or 98. Hopefully it's still 100, but like, these guys don't have a lot of shelf life. So I completely understand why, like, everybody that's coming up is making me feel like a grandpa, and I'm 24. Like, it's just crazy.
Well,
You guys
the
are
thing
all
is, like,
young. God bless, bro.
I'm out. But
Makes
Crochet
sense,
obviously throws gas, but like Chapman still throws 100. He's been in the league for almost a decade now, so it is
I think
possible.
There's definitely
And I think he
exceptions to the
just-
rule.
It is possible, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we'll have to see how Crochet's career, unfolds, how he does this year. He obviously had a good rookie year, but like I think the reason that he came up so early last year was he got drafted in 2020. There were no minor leagues. He obviously throws gas. They knew he was as MLB ready as a draft pick could be, and with no minor leagues and then in the playoff push, it made total sense for them to pull him up last year, but I don't. If it was 2019 and that had happened, I don't know if they call him up that quick. Probably
I don't
not.
think it would have happened.
That's a very good point to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. They have a lot of young talent in this bullpen, bro. Pretty much more than half the bullpen was born, in 1995 or later. So
And they got Tony La Russa as a manager.
Makes no
I'm
sense, dude.
excited. I'm excited.
I mean, as much as I hate the guy, I feel like AJ Hinch would have been a much better hire for this team. Because AJ Hinch was dealing with the super young Astros when they were coming up. I'm pretty sure Correa was like 20 or 21 when he came up. Super young guy.
Yeah,
Same thing with George Springer was super young. So, hate the guy. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you can hate AJ Hinch more than you dislike Tony La Russa after his constant DUIs and off the field issues. But
yeah, I like Hinch more.
It's an interesting coaching hire. We'll see if that plays into effect, because that's definitely a tough bullpen to manage in a good way. But I don't know, with an older manager like that, we'll see how he does with all these young guys.
But I mean, he's done it before. He's won World Series with the Cardinals before. Even before the Cardinals, he's won World Series, like not as a manager or whatever, but like he's been there. He has the experience, and he's seen what managers have been doing the last couple of years, and I think he's going to take a play out of their playbook.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I also remember, wasn't Carlos Rodon? Wasn't he a big prospect at some point?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I remember him being like, yeah, interesting.
I think you guys also forgot Matt Foster.
Yeah, Matt Foster.
Yeah, we haven't touched on him at all.
I don't know anything about him, if I'm being completely honest. There's so many big names in this lineup, it's really hard to...
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that get overlooked.
Yeah, they have a lot.
Should we talk about the lineup?
Yeah, let's dive into the lineup.
It's a good transition.
Bro,
it's a fun one.
I'm absolutely obsessed with this lineup, bro. All right, so speaking of BR legends, I don't know if Zach Collins is coming up or not, but Zach Collins is a possibility at catcher. Obviously, their starting catcher is going to be Yasmani Grandal. He's on my fantasy team. We'll talk about him in a sec. I could go on. I could spend the whole 2 hours talking about him. Jose Abreu, the reigning AL MVP. Tim Anderson at shortstop. Nick Madrigal. I call him Madrigal. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I don't know if he has a starting job. There's also Leury Garcia and Danny Mendick are options at second. Yohan Moncada, I would say, they're starting third baseman. Adam Eaton, for some reason, is in their outfield. Eloy Jimenez is in left field. And Luis Robert, that is how you pronounce it, will be their starting center fielder. They also have Adam Engel is currently on their active roster. I'm just on MLB.com. And Yerman Mercedes is also currently on their active roster, the third string catcher. So I'm absolutely in love with this lineup, bro. First of all, it's just electric. Tim Anderson is one of the more fun players to watch. And he says what's on his mind. He already came out and said, I think we're the best team in the AL. Love him or hate him, he's an electrifying, fun guy to watch. I know he has a large personality. Some people don't take too kindly to that, but I love what he brings to the table. Jose Abreu is kind of the opposite, I feel like. He's a very quiet guy, just kind of does his business and gets out of there. Yasmani Grandal is crazy offensively. If he wasn't so slow, he'd be perfect. Zach Collins.
He's also one of the best framers in baseball. Like if we went to an electric strike zone, that would take some money away from Grandal because he has perfected the art of framing. He's so good at it.
Yeah, he's ridiculous behind the plate.
I'd like to have a good defensive catcher because I don't know.
Yeah, right. Bro, I saw a stat.
What do you mean? You're Cleveland. You have Roberto Perez. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think in MLB The Show, Cleveland has 2 catchers with 99 fielding, and the Yankees have like 45-year-old or 45 overall fielding.
Yeah, combined between all 5 of Gary Sanchez's cards.
Combined for sure.
Also, Yerman Mercedes, not a fun name or anything, but my God, dude, I've seen him in person. He is a very strong man. Like he can hit a baseball to the absolute moon. Same thing with Eloy Jimenez, is just a freak of nature, kind of like a Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton type. Luis Robert has drawn comparisons to Mike Trout. I don't think he has that much potential, but he definitely could be a superstar in the next few years. I'm super high on Eloy Jimenez. I honestly think Eloy Jimenez could be an MVP candidate coming up here.
Yeah, my 2 highest guys on the White Sox lineup that honestly, like, their 2 best hitters to me are Eloy and Jose Abreu. I'm not taking anything away from Luis Robert, but One of the things that like I feel like people forget about is what happens when the book is kind of out on somebody. I'm not saying that Luis can have a poor season, but I'm not expecting a lot from him this year. He could be an all-star center fielder. He could put up good stats, but we know Abreu can hit. We know Eloy can hit. I think Moncada is going to prove people that he can hit. He was dealing with COVID a lot last year, which took away a lot from just his approach to the plate, and you could see it his numbers. I think Moncada will play pretty well, but man, Abreu and Eloy are legit. Abreu's like, I can't believe that nobody talks about that guy. He's so good.
Like I said, he just kind of does his business. He's a very, very quiet guy. He does not. He doesn't say much. Kind of like you talk about Kluber and DJ. I feel like we're bringing up the Yankees every 5 seconds. I'm just gonna stop brushing Miller's ego, but yeah, he's a very quiet guy, and he had an amazing year last year. He's absolutely insane. So I hope he continues that this year. But Eloy, freak of nature.
He's
man.
Overlooked. he's extremely overlooked in the MLB community. He is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you have Luis Robert and Tim Anderson on the same team, it's hard for anybody else to get pub, honestly, because those two guys are going to take headlines every day.
Yeah.
Unless they match that electricity.
You didn't mention Andrew Vaughan, I believe he's
going to DH. Yes, you're right. Yep. He will be DH or first base. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I think he's their starting DH.
I was just about to mention that because I'm looking at his stats right now.
Yeah,
I don't know how he's done in spring training, but I know he's been in most of the lineups with the everyday guys.
He's got an 885 in spring training this year. 885 OPS. 885.
I was like,
no.
It's like Shohei Ohtani.
Wait a minute.
You mean Raycheesy with Luke Voigt?
Oh,
I saw that.
Dude, that card is insane. That card's insane. Well,
I can't hit with him. That leg kick screws me up.
Oh, I love him. But just on the White Sox, Tim Anderson, man, I love what he brings to baseball. I feel like that's something that like, it's like the generational thing, like where they come up of like people like kind of our age, more in the 20s, you know, like coming up, like they have like an attitude, like not like a bad attitude, but they have, you know,
the swag.
The swag, yeah, swag. Yeah, they just haven't like, you know, old time, you know, it wasn't really a thing, but like this new generation, I think Tim Anderson is like one of the people that are leading that, and I love it for baseball. I absolutely love it.
Me too.
Oh, without a doubt. I saw. Yeah, I was scrolling through YouTube today, and I follow the Pat McAfee show, and he did a thing like poll about what the greatest sport in the world is, and he put football, soccer, basketball, and esports.
Ooh,
no baseball.
Interesting.
No baseball.
And
then I looked in the comments.
Honestly,
and that's what I was saying. I looked in the comments, and obviously I was reading the comments and getting mad about it, but at the same time I was like, I mean, it's true. They don't market it. And then right now I feel like is the beginning of a huge boom for baseball when you see guys like Tatis, you see guys like Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna Jr. I can name at least like 10 guys in the sport, and Tim Anderson, honestly, out of all those guys, is probably one of the lesser talented ones, even though he's a very good ball player. But my God, that personality is just something that adds so much. And I do see it even with like young guys coming up in the Angels farm system with Brandon Marsh and Joe Adell. And all these young guys coming into the league are kind of kicking out those old dudes who kind of have that, you know, chill vibe to them. And it's turned into this electric thing, kind of like basketball, I feel like is a naturally boring sport, but the personalities you get in there are what make it exciting. For some people, apparently.
Yeah, there's just a lot of hype in basketball, like just the way they act on the court, and I think it should be that way with a lot more MLB players nowadays. That's going to get fans more intrigued in the game and build the game of baseball, just like those basketball players, like LeBron and all those guys have done in the sport of basketball.
Mm-hmm. Also, speaking on what you were talking about the White Sox earlier, Fernando Tatis is a White Sox legend. Imagine if he was in Chicago, man.
Oh
and
God,
like Tim Anderson at 2 and Tatis at short, they would have. I would be shutting up about the Twins, but they don't have Tatis. They traded him away. Thank the Lord.
You mentioned Nick Madrigal earlier. Like they have between Nick Madrigal, who obviously hits for no power, but he bloops it over the shortstop. He's going to do it 200 times this year. Between Nick Madrigal and Tim Anderson, they have 2 guys at the top at their lineup. That's 400 plus hits, almost easily. Like. Yep. That's such a good, especially when you have boppers like Robert and Abreu behind him. I mean,
if
that's
they
that's
can
the
have
perfect
an OBP above like 350, that would be absolutely incredible, dude. They'd score. They're already going to score so many runs, but my God, if they can get on base, if they could have Tim Anderson and Nick Madrigal at the top of the order, just to get on for those guys would be absolutely insane.
It's like the White Sox are honestly just like a softball, like a men's softball team. You get two guys on, load the bases. You only get a couple home runs a game. You might as well get Abreu and Eloy and everybody out there to go hit a 3-run or a grand slam, and then there you go.
And then Giolito just does what Giolito does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you mentioned with Tim Anderson being like that big personality, and I think the MLB is doing a lot better of a job of marketing those guys, or those guys are doing a better job of marketing themselves, I should say. One thing about old man La Russa, so I was listening to a podcast that Giolito was on, and so La Russa came in and said, like, I know you guys have a good clubhouse, like, I know what you guys are doing here. I'm not going to come and interrupt that. Like, I have to earn your respect. La Russa said that to them, which I think bodes well for them in the future.
Yeah.
Because if La Russa had come in there and was like, screw all you guys, like, this is how we do it, old school style, then obviously I think the White Sox are in for a bad year. But if La Russa is going to let the White Sox and Tim Anderson do what they do, I think it's going to work out really well.
Yeah, I like that. No, this team just literally 1 through 26 on this roster just makes me excited, man. I will be tuning into a lot of White Sox games this season. And part of it comes with the excitement. There's certain teams that I really want to watch and other teams that I don't. And it really has to do with one player sometimes. Tim Anderson's that player on the White Sox. I'll watch a lot of Nationals games just to see Juan Soto play. And that's honestly all it takes. But they have such a good combination of old veterans, which I would consider Jose Abreu to be that at this point. Young talent, what I also consider Tim Anderson to be a veteran. Young talent, I guess, would be more the Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez, Nick Madrigal coming up. So many prospects. We don't even know. They're capable of so much, and even I feel like their floor is still like winning the division, I feel like, or being, in the playoff hunt. Maybe a wild card spot would be their floor, but yeah, going to be a very exciting team to watch. Very, very exciting.
Is that time to move on to my favorite team in the baseball, the Cleveland baseball team?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we're going to start with their pitching, which is the only reason this team is going to be good. And unfortunately for the Cleveland baseball team's front office, Cleveland is going to be a good team this year. That's not what they're trying to do, but that's what's going to happen.
They're literally making the movie happen.
Exactly. So they've got, obviously they have their ace, won the Cy Young last year, one of the best years ever. Shane Bieber's at the top of that rotation. They also have, I feel like I'm missing someone. Aaron Savali. Zach Plesac. That was the guy I couldn't see. Those are going to be their 2 and 3 guys. They also have Cal Quantrill. And I don't really know. Tristan Mckenzie is going to round out that rotation. And then, of course, in the bullpen, they have Emmanuel Clase, who throws absolute shed. They have, who am I missing here? James Karinchak. He's going to be their closer. He came out and did phenomenal last year, except for the postseason, but that's besides the point. And then they have Nick Witgren, Trevor Stephan, Cameron Hill, Logan Allen, a few other guys rounding out that bullpen, but the pitching speaks for itself. That's what's going to keep them in the games. Nick, I know you're laughing because my voice cracked probably 3 times during that. But, it's fun. It's fun.
He hit him with the exclamation point voice crack in the chat.
If you know, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it. That's their pitching. Sorry, my voice cracks interrupted talking about the Cleveland baseball team.
Oh, you're good, bro. Now, I'll be honest. Obviously, we know the rotation's like lights out, but one name that is very intriguing to me that I'm very curious about because we really haven't seen him yet is Emmanuel Clase. Obviously, he had the roid suspension, so I don't know what the history really is with relievers coming back from steroid suspension, but obviously we talk a lot about BR cards. My God, dude, this man can really have like a 100-mile-per-hour cutter. You could put me in the cage, throw me 1,000 of those. I maybe foul one off. Like that's ridiculous, dude. The fact that anybody could even touch that is insane. But I honestly, I'm very excited for him. I honestly don't know a lot about these bullpen guys, but they have a C on their hat, so I assume they're good. That's just kind of what Cleveland does. They just put good pitchers out there, and their rotation is still good even after they trade away a Cy Young Award winner in Corey Kluber, Carlos Carrasco, who's a damn good pitcher. Who's the other? Clevenger, of course, they got rid of. Just ridiculous, bro. To have that much pitching is just mind blowing to me. Do we all freeze? Ah, shit. That's not good. That's very much not good.
Hi. What? I don't know what happened. I'm back.
I have no idea what happened either.
Yeah, you guys froze on me.
Yeah, everybody froze.
Okay, yeah, we're good now.
All right, we're good. Yeah.
I was gonna say Pirates legend Oliver Perez. Dude is 40. Almost 40. He's 39.
Still hucking it, man.
Yep.
Like what? This man had a nice BR card, like our breakout card in like 2005 or something. Like crazy long ago. Like crazy. It's insane to see him. But another BR legend, Oliver Perez there.
Oh yeah. I faced him today.
Ooh.
I did not win that game. Another 4-0 gone. Thanks, Oliver Perez.
Talking on Cleveland's pitching staff, I think, and we've already talked on it a little bit, but I think their pitching staff is the reason why I still consider them to have a chance at winning the Central. I know the White Sox are so loaded. The Twins are pretty loaded. But honestly, like, pitching is so important, and they have a good house of guys in the rotation that could do the job to win some games. And we'll talk about their lineup here in a little bit. But I mean, like, you only gotta win 90 or so games. It's still a lot of games, but I mean, they have what it takes to build a playoff roster. I don't think it would go very far if they made it, but they definitely are challenging for the Central. I don't think people are giving them enough credit because of their pitching staff.
Yeah, they're like the Rays a little bit in the sense that no matter who steps on the mound for them, they get outs. I don't know how and I don't know why, but it just happens every time, and that's why these teams are good. That's why the Cleveland baseball team with a payroll of $15 million or whatever it's going to be, $35 million, they're still going to be in the hunt and be better than some teams with way higher payrolls. And it's frustrating. I think it's bad for the game. We're talking about growing the game. I think Cleveland's brand of baseball is bad for the sport, but they scare me no matter what. I don't like facing them because I don't like that they can shut down any offense on any day, no matter who's on the mound.
It'll be very interesting to see because we have such good offenses in this league now, or in this division now. Pretty much every team got better this offseason offensively, even the Tigers we're going to talk about in a sec. So it's going to be really, I mean, they did. I'm sorry. They didn't get much better, but they got better. I'm saying just it's going to be pretty interesting seeing this amazing pitching staff with little to no offense going up against these absolute offensive juggernauts in the Twins and the White Sox, and even the Royals are very good now offensively. So it's definitely this will be a good example if you're a guy who really likes pitching to see if this is going to be a team that can actually make or at least win a lot of games, be above 500, or potentially be fighting for a wild card spot. I feel like the Cleveland Indians are just kind of naturally put in that, one game out of the wild card spot, and they're always fighting to get into it no matter what, no matter if their team is absolutely stacked or if it's terrible. They always find a way to get into that, like, one game out of the wild card spot. So it's definitely not crazy to think that could happen again this year.
I mean, a lot of people are putting them like fourth in the division, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get second. Like, I think that's easily their ceiling. You put them fourth?
I put them fourth.
Okay. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I think the Indians are going to play a lot of 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 games and they're going to win a lot of those games because of their pitching. So that's why I'm glad they're not in the AL East. I will say that.
Yeah, they're going to be a really annoying team to play. You're going to be like, you guys are getting paid as much as my outfield, and you just beat me 1-0. Like, what the fuck? Me frustrated.
When the Yankees pay one pitcher as much as they pay their entire team.
Literally.
Yep.
Literally.
Crazy.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys mentioned Nick Witgren either, but he's been really solid the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at his numbers right now, and I think he's easily their setup man, probably with Class A with Karinchak as their closer.
I don't know if I would put Class A as closer role right away. I don't think he's proven it enough to be like a late inning guy. Like he's obviously got the stuff for it, but I mean, from what I've seen, like I would, if I was a Cleveland fan, I'd rather have Witgren going out over Class A right now. But yeah, Karinchak looks great. Just remembering games that we played against Cleveland, we being the Twins against Cleveland last year, Witgren was a stud. He really doesn't have like explosive stuff, but he really gets the job done when he's on the mound, and he very rarely misses his spot.
Yeah. No, I like a lot of these guys in their bullpen. I do think Class A is kind of like we talked about with Karinchak. He was born in 98, so he's not that much older than Karinchak is. Super young guy. Obviously just had the suspension, but he has that insane stuff on the mound. So I feel like he's sort of an experiment this year. He could turn out to be like a Karinchak was last year and be absolutely amazing, or he could just not be able to locate and be just throwing baseballs all over the place and have no idea what he's doing. But I do think he could end up in that maybe 8th inning role eventually, but definitely not to start the season.
They also brought back Brian Shaw, if you guys didn't know.
I was about to say,
I believe he's a minor league deal.
Yeah, they brought him back, but he's here on the major league roster. Like he's been pretty bad the last 3 years, but that's because he went to Colorado.
Yeah, he signed with Truman's Rockies. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. Like he could easily bounce back too, just like another player we'll talk about in this division.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm the resident Cleveland baseball team fan, but I mean, their pitching staff's made up of a lot of guys that your basic fan of baseball would have no idea who they are. You'd say like Cal Quantrill, and you're like, are you talking about like who are you saying?
The hockey player?
Exactly. Like, so their whole bullpen and rotations are made up of a lot of guys like that where you don't know who they are. But the only thing that I do know, what I will say, Cleveland fans, I'm sorry I'm not talking enough about your guys because I just genuinely do not know enough about them. So let us know in the comments, like if there's a guy that we're missing, or like a guy you're really high on.
I'm pretty high on Tristan Mckenzie. I think he's one of those electrifying ball players, competitors that's really fun to watch. I know he debuted against the Tigers last year, and I think he struck out Miguel Cabrera 2 or 3 times. So he's one of those electrifying guys we talk about on those teams. So he's a guy that stands out to me. I feel like we didn't say anything.
Tristan Mckenzie, like that dude is 150 pounds soaking wet, and it's just disgusting on the mound. Like, I don't know how the Indians do it.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
That's
Subtle
badass.
Flex.
Need him to do well. We need him to do well. My wallet needs him to do well.
What's that numbered out of?
This is numbered out of 99.
Holy shit! Wow.
For those listening on Spotify, you just showed us a cute little Tristan Mckenzie. I have no idea. You know more about baseball cards than I do. You want to?
I don't know a ton because I'm getting back into it thanks to everybody else on Twitch doing breaks right now.
Yes.
But this is Topps Chrome Tristan Mckenzie rookie card. I honestly he's somewhat, not just because I have his card, not that I have any vested interest here, but I honestly think he's one of the more intriguing starters out of the Central to watch this year, up there with if not Lopez bouncing back, but looking at like Cease, looking at Kopech, some guys in the Twins we'll talk about later. I mean, we'll talk about Matthew Boyd and the Tigers. I don't know why we're going to talk about him, but could this be the year Matthew Boyd pops off? I don't think so, but
no.
Well, before we get to the Tigers pitching, we're going to talk about this Cleveland baseball team lineup. You know, scariest lineup in MLB, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were about to say hitting, and I was like, can we call it that?
Yeah, exactly. So they have heavy hitting catcher Roberto Perez. He's going to be their starting catcher.
Terrifying.
And then absolutely terrifying. Their first baseman is Bobby Bradley, I believe.
Even more terrifying.
Exactly. The young Chris, he's 24, doesn't have much MLB experience. Second base is going to be Cesar Hernandez. Shortstop's going to be a combination of Ahmed Rosario and Andres Jimenez, both the acquisitions of the Francisco Lindor trade. And then, of course, perennial MVP candidate, actual heavy hitter on this team, Jose Ramirez, one of the scariest guys to face in MLB. And then their outfield this is where it gets pretty rough. In left field, they do have Eddie Rosario, who is Barry Bonds himself, playing at Progressive Field. Center field is going to be, I believe, Bradley Zimmer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they optioned what's his name, Mercado.
They also have I forgot about. I think Josh Naylor might play more first base than Bobby Bradley does.
That would be my assumption.
Because I think Eddie Rosario is going to be in left. I'm guessing Zimmer is going to be in center, and then they have Luplo, who hits righty or hits lefty as well. Sorry, they can put him in right field. I think Franmil Reyes is definitely their DH. And they also have Jake Bowers, who can play the outfield.
So they do have some options. Play because Yu Chang has been absolutely murdering the baseball in spring training.
Like, yeah, I figured he was a bench bat. He's listed as their third shortstop on the major league roster.
Oh, he's a middle infielder. Gotcha.
Yeah,
no, that man he's been raking the ball in spring.
If they're smart, they'll move him to the outfield. I don't really know what Bradley Zimmer has hit left in the tank. I mean, I know Bradley Zimmer's not old, but he hasn't done all that well.
I was watching an Angels Indians game the other day, and they tried Ahmed Rosario in the outfield, and I posted Shane Bieber's stat line. He gave up 9 runs, and one of them was earned, all on Ahmed Rosario errors in center field. Legitimately, he had 4.
Yeah, he's listed here as a center field.
I would say, he's listed out there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, Ahmed Rosario and Joe Adell are the same in the outfield, at least from what I've seen in the spring training so far.
Oh, dude, it's bad.
That's a fun comparison.
No, it's awful. No, but like I literally looked at the stat line. I was like, poor Shane Bieber. This man gave up 9 runs, and one of them was earned, and it was a Shohei Ohtani solo home run over the batter's eye, I might add. But
at least it was in spring training, man. At least it was in spring training.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's gonna end up one of those guys. I feel like I'll make their way to the outfield. I'd love to see more Yu Chang. He's a fun guy to watch. Give me some more Yu Chang.
Yeah, I mean, if they're smart, they can move Yu Chang to like right field or even center field. But Eddie Rosario is a very good pickup for them. Obviously, they traded away Francisco Lindor. You can never replace that hole that he left. But in the past, in terms of OPS plus production, Eddie Rosario and Francisco Lindor are pretty similar players. But the difference is that Francisco Lindor plays elite defense at the shortstop position, and Eddie Rosario plays not good defense at the outfield. Which it's a lot easier to find bad defensive, good hitting outfielders than it is to find good hitting, elite defensive shortstops, which is why Francisco Lindor has so much value. But in terms of offensive production, they're going to remain about the same as they had last year. Obviously, they lost Carlos Santana, but I think some other guys are going to pick up the slack. But the offense, this offense is not exactly the heart and soul of this team. It's not why they're going to be good. It's why they're going to win a lot of 1-0, 2-1 games.
Yeah,
I agree with that for sure.
I mean,
Jose Ramirez is going to pop off with 38, 40 home runs pretty easily. He's going to carry that team for most of the season.
I was going to say it's
Eddie
not
Rosario.
The Pirates,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I was just taking a stab and saying it's not the Pirates, but I'm sorry, but
why are you doing that to us?
It could be worse. I'm just saying it could be worse.
I like how you said us, like you're actually a Pirates fan, like Raycheesy is.
Did I say us? I did not mean to say us.
I did not.
No. Nick said us. He said, "Why are you doing this to us?"
I have the hat.
I count. Pirates fan. Nick is.
At least I know someone cares.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of underdogs, bro. I'm a fan of underdogs. I know what it feels like.
Right? Except the Pirates are really underdog. Like they're like,
they're
like sewer. They're like sewer dogs.
Yeah. No, I mean I
was gonna say just to give.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry,
you're good.
my bad.
No, you're good, bro.
You're good. I'm just saying for Cleveland fans, what you're getting with Eddie Rosario, he'll hit a fastball at his eyes, 430 to right field. You're like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. And then next inning, he'll botch a ground ball, and then he'll overthrow the third baseman, and then he'll miss the pop up. He'll go like 2 for 4 with a couple errors, and then you'll not know if you like him or not. Get ready for 162 of that.
So pros and cons, really.
Yeah,
exactly.
Pros
I
and
forgot
cons.
to say that. Thune obviously knows a lot about Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario was with the Twins for a long time. Now goes to the division rival baseball team. I'm not going to call them the Indians. They're not going to be that for very long, so I don't see the point. But I mean, all right. So Raycheesy, just to get you involved in the conversation a little bit, you're a resident Tigers fan. Other than Jose Ramirez and Eddie Rosario, is there a guy that if you're watching your beloved Tigers, who are you most afraid of right now?
Oh, geez, for the Tigers, who?
Well, oh no, if you're watching the Tigers and you're facing the Indians, who scares
Oh,
you the
yes.
most?
Okay. I get what you're saying. Sure. I mean, I don't think there's really. I mean, Josh Naylor against righties, right? I mean, that man can hit some bombs. I mean, or Franmil as well. Like, don't sleep on Franmil. As long as he's not in the outfield, he's playing some DH. That man will be set. He is a very, very good player as well. I think unfortunately, his defense is obviously not good, right? But his bat is very, very viable, and I think he could have a very good year as well. I think those two are kind of the ones I would look at, like big guys that have a lot of power.
Naylor caused me a lot of anxiety in the postseason. I really thought Naylor was going to cause the Yankees to lose a couple of those games. It was scary. He just he went like 5 for 5 in his first 5 plate appearances. It was nuts. So maybe he can build off of that success.
Right.
It's so sad how much potential this Indians team has. I know we won't shut up about it, but it's tough to watch this team because they have such good guys to build around. They have a great pitching staff. They're so ready to contend, but the ownership team won't put any talent on the field to surround these guys. They're not missing. Man. They have J-Ram. They had Lindor. They had the perfect blocks in place for an elite team, but
I mean, what they're 5 years removed from a World Series, right? 5 years now, or
5 years now.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
I mean, they obviously had the talent at one point. They just shipped them all away.
Just a couple seasons ago, Shane Bieber was their number 5. They had Corey Kluber, Cy Young, Trevor Bauer, Cy Young, Mike Clevenger, Cy Young potential. Of course, Shane Bieber is now a Cy Young, and there's Carlos Carrasco. That's what a rotation.
Yeah, like what?
Yep.
Yeah. They shipped 4 of those guys away. Shane Bieber's like a clear cut one of the best pitchers in baseball now.
One of the better rotations in baseball.
And they still have a good rotation.
Yeah.
And all of those pitchers are still good on other teams.
Exactly.
It's frustrating.
That's the only thing that scares me about the Indians is the Cleveland baseball team. That's the only thing that scares me is the pitching. That's the only thing that scares me. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
They're just like we said. They're one of those annoying teams to face because if you're facing like a Zach Plesac or Shane Bieber, and your starter gives up a home run to J-Ram and a home run to Eddie Rosario, and you're down 2-0 against the Indians, that feels like a 5-6 run deficit because you don't know if you're gonna be able to score those 2 runs. Yep. That's why they're such an annoying team to face.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much, unless anyone else has any hot takes about the Indians right now, I think we can move on to, like I said, Raycheesy's beloved Detroit Tigers.
Ooh, baby.
Wow.
Go Detroit.
These Tigers, man. I tell you what, these 5th place Tigers are ready to do it. Okay, I can talk smack because if you guys can't say, I'm a Pirates fan, so I know what it's like. I know what it's like. But to talk about their pitching a little bit, I think for sure Matthew Boyd, their top end guy. You got Tariq Skubal as well, or how you say it, I'm sure, but Casey Mize could potentially be there someday. I know I think he battled some injuries last year. Michael Fulmer was there 4 or 5 years ago. I think he was Rookie of the Year at some point.
He was.
I think it was in 2016. I think
2016. Yeah. So I mean, I think he's dealt with a lot of injuries as well, unfortunately. Looks like Spencer Turnbull is hurt right now, but he can be in there. And Jose Arena, known for throwing at people, which is good. The bullpen though.
It might be the worst.
I tell you what, I'm gonna be 100% with you guys. I don't think I know one of these guys, besides because of MLB The Show. If I didn't play MLB The Show, I would not know one of these guys.
Yeah,
same
here.
But we got Brian Garcia, Gregory Soto, Buck Farmer, hell of a name, love that. Always skip over him in BR because my man, I think he's a common, not good. Jose Cisnero, Joe Jimenez, and Ronnie Garcia. Really nothing there, to be honest. As a very beloved Tigers fan, I tell you what, man, the bullpen is not great in any form or fashion.
The only guy that I know that you just said, I think Gregory Soto throws. He's just one of those guys that doesn't know where he's throwing it, but he throws it at 106. He just gas. But you're not going to get the best results when you walk the bases loaded every inning.
Yeah.
for no reason at all, Buck Farmer destroys the Twins. Every time I see Buck Farmer come out, I'm like, well, pack it up. I guess we lost this one. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. It's like Buck Farmer comes out with this robust 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and we just don't know what to do with it. It's crazy.
Buck Farmer should teach Ronaldo Lopez how to pitch against the Twins.
There we go. There you go.
Bro, I just got Zach. I did, completely unrelated, but Zach Gallen just went down with a hairline fracture from batting, just to put a damper on.
Oh, I heard about that.
Episode.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Stress fracture in his forearm. So, yeah,
Not
pitchers
good.
a rake
Why are pitchers batting?
in spring training.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's bad.
Awful.
Wouldn't it be cool
Disgusting.
if we could come up with a rule that would prevent pitchers getting injuries doing
While hitting?
unnecessary activities? It seems like a really good idea.
It'd be cool.
It's called the DH.
I think the AL's got it down. You know, the NL is a little
Yeah.
bit behind there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just thought I'd.
But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I mean, I think the Pirates, the Tigers, you know, bullpen pitching, not a very strong suit, along with their lineup. To be honest, I mean, their lineup. I will say, if you guys play on this show, very glitchy lineup. I tell you what, a lot of silvers, a lot of nice guys to hit with. But just looking at their catchers, Grayson Griner, Jake Rogers, I think is an up and coming catcher for them. John Candelario, good first baseman. I like him. Jonathan Scope, Nico Goodrum, very good cards in MLB show. But Jonathan Scope, I mean, I think he's been around. He's been around for a while. He's a veteran hitter for sure.
He can hit.
There will be no Jonathan Scope slander.
No, there won't.
here. Former Twins don't get
Hey.
slandered. Scope is
Scope is
great.
dope.
We love Scope.
Scope is
awesome.
dope.
Did
man.
you not just spend 5 minutes bad at Eddie Rosario's defenses?
Yeah, no, we didn't. I didn't hear that. I don't know what you're talking about.
But then we have Isaac Paredes at playing third. I think he's another young guy. A nice prospect for them as well that's coming up. Willie Castro again at shortstop. New acquisition, Robbie Grossman. You know, we'll see how he does. We got Jacoby Jones in center, and then Victor Reyes in right, along with Daz Cameron, another highly talented prospect as well. And then Miguel Cabrera, man, that man's still in the league doing his thing. Absolute veteran hitter, just knows how to hit. You know, it's been a little bit lower here lately, but I'm still a very, very good hitter.
He honestly
Without
could
a
get
doubt.
a timeshare and play for Detroit as long as he wanted to.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure like Cabrera could negotiate like a 4-year extension and still get some money because they're
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, we're not doing anything. Like we might as well keep Miguel Cabrera here.
I
It's
mean,
a-
it's having Cabrera is like having just an extra hitting coach for these young
Yeah,
players.
pretty much,
honestly,
exactly. Yeah.
Like it helps the young team develop and get better as players. And plus, like, if he can get more accolades on his resume, like even if he just keeps playing and if he doesn't live up to his like MVP seasons of the past, like he could still like rack up the stats that he needs to like get further
Yeah.
into the Hall of Fame, you know?
Well, he's not Albert Pujols. He's still
Yeah.
you know a replacement level player. He's not bad. He's not hurting them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
Yeah,
like him.
exactly.
He's
mean,
definitely
like-
dealt with injuries and stuff. I think that's something
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
hurt him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
guys like Nick Castellanos and JD Martinez owe a lot of their
Mm.
career to being teammates with Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
And he could
Yeah.
have that same effect on John Candelario, Willie Castro. Who did they draft? Spencer Torkelson.
Spencer Torkelson.
That's
Spencer
what I was
Torkelson,
trying
yep.
to think of.
Yep.
Spencer
Yeah,
Torkelson
exactly.
could be a Miguel Cabrera type hitter, you know, with like first base, third base, corner infield power. So
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, if Torkelson can come up at any point and play third base for them, like that's an improvement.
yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not much with the Tigers. Not really much to talk about.
I do
as,
like
as a
Willie
bu-
Castro.
Yeah, Willie
I like
Castro's good.
Candelario. I'm a
Yeah,
big fan of
Candelario,
Candelario.
Also,
Candelaro's a
Jake
stud.
Rogers has the best MLB stock photo of all time. I don't know if you guys can look
Oh.
that up or not, but it is.
I will
it is,
Google it right now.
It is better than Dylan Bundy's from last year. That's a
Oh, the
very high
mustache?
praise. Oh my god!
Is it on
dude.
Baseball Reference?
It's phenomenal.
Oh,
Isn't that great?
yikes.
Yeah, where are we looking? Where are we
it's
looking this
Jake
up at?
Rogers.
Is it baseball reference?
I'm on
Yeah.
No, no,
Detroit.
Is it
I'm on
baseball
Detroit.
reference or just?
I'm just on
Nolan, are you
Detroit's
talking about the
website.
mustache? Are you
Yeah,
talking
the
about
mustache, bro.
Oh yeah, it's pretty clean.
Bro, it's a damn good time.
It kind of looks like he's holding in a fart, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Wait, where are you guys seeing this?
If
On
you guys-
MLB.com?
I'm
Yeah.
looking at
Detroit's
Tigers.
website. Yeah,
I'm
Detroit's
at
website.
Detroit's too.
Detroit's
Yeah.
website. Okay.
So if you ever want to see a picture of a funny man, Jake Rogers MLB stock photo, it's phenomenal. It's a good time. Miguel
Oh, yeah,
Cabrera looks like he's
that's-
trying to
that's
look
hot.
tough in his. Right? It's a good one. I want to do like a compilation of the best ones there.
I think I think it's probably like just like the Pirates and NL Central finishing last. I think it's a foregone conclusion that the Tigers will probably finish last in the NL Central.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
100%.
Oh my! I finally
take.
saw it. Holy
Hot
shit!
take, I agree. Hot take, I agree.
Mick out here using Internet Explorer.
For real. It took me a while to get there. But when I was on their page, I think we didn't mention probably their starting catcher. I don't know how much defense he's got left in the bag. Wilson Ramos did sign with them.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sorry, yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
ageless
but
wonder of Wilson
even if
Ramos.
if Wilson Ramos DHs, then you could put Miguel Cabrera at first. Candelario can play third. Might be a better option than having Paredes play third. But
Yeah,
screw it. Let's see what Mickey Cabs can do at third base still.
Right?
I think he's still got a lot left in the tank. I think he can play a couple more years.
He looks good.
I
I
hope
follow his
so.
Instagram, and I'm just seeing him taking some hacks in the cages. He looks like he got a little spring in his step. I used to love
Yeah,
Wilson
honestly,
Ramos, bro.
He's lost like
if
20
I'm not-
pounds.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Miguel Cabrera got into really good shape this offseason, right? Or was I thinking of somebody else?
Mhm.
No, he lost like
Yeah, he
20
did, yeah, he
pounds.
Yeah.
He lost like 20 pounds.
I think you're talking about AL MVP Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But that's,
Oh, yeah.
did
Well,
this one.
that's another one. Yeah.
And Alejandro Kirk. He also lost like 25 pounds.
But
Alejandro
I-
Kirk
man.
just looks like, dude, that guy reminds me of like playing town ball. If any of you don't know what town ball is, it's just like dudes that are out of college that are still playing baseball together. He reminds me of like the dude on the other team that just looks like he got done having a six-pack before he showed up. Then he goes 2 for 4, 2 home runs, and you're like, wow, that team's catcher is really good. Like,
That's a good comparison. I like that.
that's perfect.
He's like a mini fridge.
But-
he's just hits nukes.
I
Yeah.
Bro,
think
I'm
he's
excited.
really young, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's 20. He's 21.
Yeah,
No
he
shit.
doesn't look 21.
he doesn't
Yeah,
look
he
21.
looks a lot older, like at least 27. I think.
That's crazy.
He reminds me of like Jason Kubel at catcher. If anybody knows who Jason Kubel was.
Oh, I remember Jason
Yeah.
Kubel. Yeah. Playing past MLB The Show games like 08 and
Yep.
09. I remember that.
I love it.
One thing about Miguel Cabrera too. Sorry, just to finish this out. This year he could, if he stays healthy, could possibly get 3,000 hits and could possibly get 500 home runs. Which I don't know how many people in the MLB have ever done that in history, but I mean,
Yeah,
He's
It's
done
very
that in
good.
one season too.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah,
be
he-
so
That'd be
could-
really cool.
Wow.
yeah.
How
That's
many?
crazy
Do you
to
know
see
how many
those.
like hits and home runs he's away?
So right now he has hits wise he has 2,866, so about 134. Home runs he needs 13 to get to 500. So
Oh,
Yeah,
very
I
doable.
get it.
very doable. As long as he's healthy, I think
Very
he should definitely
doable.
do that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
I would guess he definitely gets the 500 home runs. I
Yeah.
think the 3,000 hits a little bit of a stretch, just because I don't know. The 130 hits isn't, it's not previous 200 hit Miguel Cabrera, but
Yeah.
it's still hard.
I mean, he'll get there
Yeah.
eventually. He'll
Exactly,
get
yeah,
there
I-
eventually.
yeah.
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 No, it's
Might
so
not be
cool to
this season, but
see.
eventually.
I was there for I don't know why I just happened to be I don't go to that many Angels games, but I was in Seattle for Pujols' 3,000th hit, and I was in a suite at an Angels game for his 600th home run. And just seeing
Wow.
those milestones are just absolutely insane. Just to think that somebody is even capable of
600
doing
is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, somebody
Yeah.
literally it's rounded the
600
bases
home
600 times.
Man.
Like
That's
I remember
insane.
in Little League, I think I hit 6 in a season, and I thought I was like the most cracked person of all time. It's like, bro, I just hit 6 nukes in 20 games. I'm insane. I'm an absolute monster. This man goes out and hits 600 home runs. That's
Against the
huge.
best players
Well-
in the world. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's unbelievable, man.
It's
And the
crazy.
fact that he
I-
can still do it.
I wouldn't compare Miguel Cabrera to Albert Pujols because I think Albert Pujols had a stretch that I don't think any
Oh, yeah.
right-handed hitters ever had.
Yeah, no.
but like he's
a
like
machine.
he's just a little bit below that. But like I mean, Miguel Cabrera was at one point triple crown winner, right?
Yeah,
Too.
yeah,
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 he won
Triple
Triple
Crown,
Crown.
yeah.
He
14,
barely
I think.
beat Mike Trout out. He barely
Yeah.
beat Mike Trout out.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But,
yeah,
so Miguel
that's
Cabrera is
Tigers.
about to. Sorry, real quick. He's about to
you're
join the group of Hank Aaron, Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols, Willie Mays, Rafael Palmeiro, and Eddie Murray. So he's about to be the 7th player ever to get 3,000 hits and 500 home runs.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Seven-
100%.
Without a doubt.
He's about to be
That's awesome.
only the 7th player to ever do that. That is just insane.
It's nuts.
I feel like nobody ever talks about Rafael Palmeiro. I've never
No.
heard him in like top like MLB player discussions ever.
Does he have like? I
Well,
feel like
he's
he
a
has some
steroids guy,
steroid
right?
stuff around him.
Yeah,
It's,
steroid
it's
stuff,
because
yeah.
of the steroids stuff.
Yep, steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steroid stuff.
No, he was so good though.
Yeah,
I
he was
like
good.
Rafael Palmeiro.
They had a thing with him on ESPN about his kid at Mississippi State, I think it was. Like a 30 for 30. It was actually pretty good.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not for steroids at all, but like
Here comes the ball.
Yeah, hot take.
you still have to put still
Yeah.
have to put the bat on the ball.
Yeah.
So that
Oh,
means
yeah,
he's
yeah.
still a good ball player.
Oh yeah. No, Barry Bonds is still probably the best hitter of all time.
Yeah, I
Not
agree with
the
that.
most complete baseball
I mean-
player of all time, but the best hitter of all time.
Steroids
Nobody
or
did what
not,
he did.
he was
yeah,
great.
nobody. Yeah.
No.
I mean, you can give Lou Gehrig steroids and see what he does, but at the end of the day, Barry Bonds still was miles above the next best player in MLB in the height of the steroid era. So
imagine Babe
That's
Ruth with
insane.
steroids.
I mean, technically, Babe Ruth had steroids because he was going against people that are throwing 88. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
yeah,
like,
Yeah,
it's
well,
just-
like
yeah,
it's like
it's a different
imagining.
game, but like,
I'm sure you've all got like everyone's seen that video where Babe Ruth's trainers like rolling that big ball against his stomach like for training. Just imagine those guys with like actual decent training regimens.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
And those guys were heavy drinkers, heavy
Oh,
smokers. Like,
dude.
Yeah.
You'd be having
They
a
were
cigar in
living
the
their
dugout,
lives.
be like, "Hey, hold this." Hits a home run, comes
Yeah.
back and takes it.
Hold
Yeah.
my beer. Hold my beer.
Quite literally,
Let me go
yeah.
bat real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. I love it. I love those old timey baseball movies, man. 42 is
too.
one of my favorites, dude. That just like seeing that old timey baseball.
Yeah.
It would something different I'd like to see if I ever get a time machine, man.
oh yeah.
Be wild. So we want to head over to the Royals now for our boy Nick Terrio. Feels
You mean
weird
Nick
to say it.
Thurlot?
Yeah, Nick
Thurlot.
There it is.
Thurlot? Thurlot. Okay. For the Royals, we have let's start with the pitching staff. We got Brad Keller, Danny Duffy, Brady Singer, Mike Minor, and Irvin Santana. We signed him in the offseason.
Wow.
Angels
I
legend.
can't believe he's still throwing it. Smell
I
baseball,
know.
man.
know.
He's like 38, I think. 37 or 38 or something like that.
Angels
He's
legend.
been in the league. He's been in the
He's
league for a
played on
long
every
time.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been here for a long time, but one thing that doesn't make sense to me is that Chris Bubich was optioned to the minors like this past week, but I guess that would make sense in the sense that they want him to get some reps in AAA.
Makes sense to me.
It's like
Yeah.
the same thing. Yeah. And the bullpen, we have Josh Stalmont, Scott Barlow, Jacob Junis, who could also start or be a long reliever in the pen. Jesse Hahn, Kyle Zimmer, Jake Newberry, Greg Holland, and Wade Davis, who we recently signed, who was an absolute superstar the last couple years. He lost his career in Colorado, like most pitchers do. We talked about Brian Shaw earlier this episode. I think they could both return to old form like he did in like 2014, 2015, 2016, because he was a tremendous pitcher in those amazing bullpen years for the Royals in 2014, 2015, especially in the postseason. In both years, I think he only gave up one run in each postseason, which is absolutely disgusting. And Jesse Hahn was really solid reliever last year, and Josh Stalmont, he's a flamethrower. A lot of people didn't know who he was. Like I went on a couple Instagram pages back when he was throwing like 102. They were like, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" I'm like, "This is Josh Stalmont. You have to know who he is because he's an insane flamethrower." And of course, you got Greg Holland. He returned to form, and I'm hoping the exact same for Wade Davis. So, what do you guys think about this pitching staff?
I think nobody talks about Brady Singer. I like Brady Singer, I'll be honest. I think he.
I really like him.
I don't think. I mean, it's not the Tigers' pitching staff, but it's also not the Indians' pitching staff. I'm not. I'm not super high on it. Yeah, exactly. It could be worse, but I think it need to be a little bit better to make them like a playoff team. But I do. There's definitely some names in here I don't mind. Josh Stallman is obviously, like you said, a flamethrower. Brady Singer has a ton of potential. He's just very young. Brad Keller was pretty good last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Very underrated. He's very underrated.
Yeah, very underrated.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people talk about him.
Yeah, and I think Mike Minor's a big veteran presence to have there around guys like Brady Singer and honestly the guy who I had never heard of until you just said his name.
Chris Bubich?
I honestly don't know who that is.
Yeah, he was a rookie. He was a rookie this past year with Brady Singer. I think he was like 13th in the AL Rookie of the Year voting, which doesn't really matter. But he was solid. He was solid, but he needs more reps. But Brady Singer is definitely ready because he had like 2 or 3 decent starts against the Indians when they had the loaded lineup last year. He even brought a no-hitter into the 8th inning in one of those games.
Oh man.
Yes.
This man's got the cards.
The lighting is so bad. The lighting is so bad. There you go.
It doesn't matter because it's beautiful either way, man. Holy shit.
For those listening on Spotify, if you're not watching, it was another Topps Chrome refractor Brady Singer rookie card. What was that numbered out of? Is it numbered?
This actually wasn't. This one wasn't numbered, but it was literally my first hobby box that I've ever bought, and the silver pack in the hobby box was insane. I got like Chrome Refractor, Singer, Carlson, Mountcastle, and McKenzie.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. I know. It was crazy.
Jealous.
I know. Oh,
I have a couple Brady Singers over in my box over there, but nothing like that. That's an amazing card. I would love to have that. But yeah, I think Brad Keller is definitely underrated, and I think Mike Minor's going to show these young pitchers what to do, like be that veteran presence in the clubhouse.
Supposed to throw the ball in the strike zone. Oh, I just see like all the young guys taking notes, like sitting in a circle, crisscross applesauce on the floor. Well, Mike Minor shows him grips, kind of like one of those kids camps that you used to do.
Yeah,
I love those.
Yeah. And we also have a couple pitching prospects coming up, possibly this year or next year. Asa Lacy is projected to come in 2022. I think he was the 3rd overall draft pick in 2020. Who else do we have? We have Jackson Kowar, and Daniel Lynch. And Daniel Lynch.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited for this future. They're probably going to have to trade away. I think they'll probably trade away Chris Bubich to keep Brad Keller. And Danny Duffy's probably going to go somewhere else. And Mike Minor's most likely going to re-sign somewhere else. But
they're really good. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think the future of the Royals pitching rotation is going to be really good.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think they're that way now. But...
Yeah, I don't know. They'd be a good candidate to sign still unemployed Shane Green.
I would love them to sign Shane Green, but I think we need a lefty because we don't have any lefties in the bullpen right now.
Yeah, their bullpen is in rough shape.
Yeah, there's no like we have a lot of good righties, but we have no lefties in the bullpen at all.
That's a good point.
That's kind of the Twins' problem too. I'll talk about that when the Twins pop up.
That's the only issue I have with this team overall.
Is there anybody besides Mike Minor and the entire pitching staff that's left-handed?
Danny Duffy's a lefty too.
Yeah, Danny Duffy's a lefty.
Isn't I thought Bubich was a lefty too.
He is a lefty too. Yeah.
Why would they option their? Whatever.
I don't know. They should have just moved Bubich to the bullpen.
Yeah,
so he can get some experience at the major league level without having to start. But that's what I thought they should have done. But I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared for that. That's the only reason.
I mean, in a perfect world, I think the Royals ceiling is 3rd place. In a perfect world, if everything goes right. And I mean, like a team like the Twins or the Indians would have to just like have the worst season ever for that to happen. But there is more than a 1% chance of the Royals being 3rd place in this division.
Yeah, that's what makes me more excited for this year because we have a lot more potential with the young guys coming up and
Their potential definitely comes from their offense that we'll talk about, not necessarily their pitching.
Yeah, their lineup's actually pretty good.
This pitching staff would be a lot better if it was still 2016 with like Greg Holland and Wade Davis and Danny Duffy. I feel like we've been saying Danny Duffy is going to get traded for 8 years now, and he's still a Royal.
Yeah,
but
we've been waiting for it, but it just hasn't happened yet. I mean, hopefully this year it happens. We get some picks or something like that, or prospects, whatever. I would take it. I would take, because we're always looking for pitching prospects. The last couple of years, I think we've drafted like 40 some pitchers, not many hitters. We like pitching, so. And Nolan, you mentioned you always mention that bullpens are make or break for postseason teams, and I think that the Royals do have like one of the better bullpens in the MLB. Not the best, obviously, but like top 15. Like if they could
above
like
league
show
average,
up their full potential. Yeah.
It is scary not having that lefty though. That's another problem.
That's my only thing.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, having matchups are so bullshit, man. Game 6 of the World Series, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's so dumb. Like handedness matchups don't mean anything. You got to look at the analytics and whatnot. Yeah. And I really don't think that matchups are that big of a deal. Maybe if you're going up against I don't even know. I feel like it matters more with lefties facing righties versus. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm sure they'll find somebody in that farm system to come up, but it's kind of scary. The Angels are kind of in that boat too. Our only lefty, to my knowledge, besides Patrick Sandoval, is Alex Claudio, and I'm not.
At least you have another
either. So
Claudio's a legend. I don't know Claudio slander in this podcast.
True.
Claudio is a legend for sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about that lineup.
Oh, dude.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I love this lineup. This lineup gives me a heart attack every time I look at it. At catcher, obviously we have Salvador. And first base, Carlos Santana. Second base, they're gonna have Nicky Lopez and Hanser Alberto platooning. Third base, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Hunter Dozier. Shortstop, it's gonna be Mondesi. Left field, the new Royal Andrew Benintendi. Center field, Michael A. Taylor. And right field, we're going to have Whit Merrifield with Soler DHing.
You could make an argument that is the second best lineup in the AL Central.
If I'm being honest, I don't think. Oh, no, just how do you. No, I was thinking the Indians, but I don't know if you can argue that that's better than the Twins or the White Sox.
Not the White Sox. Not the White Sox.
Not the White Sox, but.
There's some talking points that I'll get to on the Twins, and injuries is a big part of it too, and like how healthy people are and everything. But Hunter Dozier's been impressive. Salvador Perez is obviously fantastic. I love watching him play so much. Soler at DH would be awesome. I think Benintendi not because the Royals aren't a playoff team like the Red Sox weren't a playoff team, but new place, maybe Benintendi loves it in KC. I'm not really sure. Like, we know Mondesi for MLB The Show, but I don't think he's been all that impressive in real life. I haven't really looked at
very
streaky.
Yeah,
very streaky. He's streaky. He's streaky. He's still young. He's 25. He still has a lot of potential to like put it all together. It's just a matter of when that's gonna happen.
I definitely agree with Benintendi. I can see Benintendi's season going one of two ways. Like, he's pissed that he got traded, hates Kansas City, wants to be on a contender, just phones it in. But most professional athletes aren't like that, so I definitely expect him to probably bounce back and be that player that we remember him. Because I think Benintendi is also still really young. He came out really young.
Yeah,
26.
Yeah.
So there's still time for him. I definitely think he's going to be a really good piece for them.
Yeah. Is he fast?
I think the same.
Is Benintendi fast?
Let me check.
All I know is that in MLB The Show, he has a speed of like 50 in between 50 and 60.
Because I feel like, I don't know. When I think of the Royals ballpark, I feel like there's a lot of room to get extra base hits in, and it's not an amazing place to hit a ton of home runs. So I feel like he's a big extra base hits guy and less of a, raw power guy. So I think he could really thrive in that environment, high batting average, high OBP. And that's kind of what they need. That's what they were lacking in last year. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I remember when we were doing our first episodes on the going over the moves and stuff when they added Carlos Santana. One of the things they were lacking in last year was on base percentage. They just weren't getting on base. They had the power there with Soler. They have the speed guys with Adalberto Mondesi. They just don't have guys who are getting on base. Carlos Santana's led the league in walks before. I think Andrew Benintendi, like I said, has a lot of potential and a lot of room there to extra base hits and whatnot. So I think he's a huge addition to the team. And like Thune was talking about, I do really like Hunter Dozier as well. And they have a lot of power guys who are kind of sneaky power guys with McBroom and O'Hearn.
Yeah, I really like the bench. They have a lot of depth on that bench, like especially at first base with McBroom and O'Hearn, and they also have who else do they have? Edward Olivares. He's really fast in the outfield. I really like him. I've seen a little bit of the flash of the bat, but other than that, I don't. That's why I'm really comfortable with Michael A. Taylor in center field, because he can hit for a little bit of power, but he's fast. From what I've seen, he's pretty fast.
Yeah. You're not going to get any offense out of Taylor. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's the speed that gets me. It's the speed that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Taylor's probably the worst hitter in that lineup.
Yeah. Well, you look at the 2015 Royals that won the World Series. They weren't anything flashy at the plate, really.
Yeah.
A lot of
it's all small
guys.
ball. It's all small ball with KC. Mm-hmm. Oh, they also signed Gerard Dyson, who was on that team, and I think they also signed Terrence Gore. He was on that team as well.
I do remember
him.
him.
Like a lot track meet over there, or what?
Exactly. A lot of the old guys coming back.
Terrence Gore has a shit ton of MLB games played, but so few ABs because he just comes in and pinch runs.
Yeah. I'm trying not to think about MLB this show, but man, this might be one of the more glitchy lineups too. I mean, I feel like Salvi, Carlos Santana, Hunter Dozier, Ryan McBroom, Ryan O'Hare, Mondesi literally is the player that plays so far above his attributes. It's literally insane because of his swing. And then
I honestly think that Mondesi hits better with a 65 power than he does the 125. Yeah, I get more home runs versus lefties versus
righties.
Righties. Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
And then you have Soler. Just rounded out. I mean,
Soler's.
Yeah. The only weak spot in this lineup is Michael A. Taylor. And Nicky Lopez. He's not the best hitter, but he's a really good fielder.
I think Andrew Benintendi is going to be someone very interesting to watch this year, see how he performs. I would love to see him get back to that 2018 form where he was just an absolute monster at the plate. And he has good defense out there in left field. I remember one of the greatest moments of my life was watching the Astros all sad walking off the field. That diving catch he made in the playoffs. It was a great moment in hating Astros history.
Yeah. He's got to live up to the hype of what Alex Gordon brought in left field, though. That's good. That would be really tough for him.
There's some big shoes.
That'd be pretty tough. Yeah, that's my only issue with Benintendi, but I think he's gonna bounce back.
It's like, at the end of the day, what do they have to lose? If they suck, they suck.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And Franchy Cordero's the exact same age, and Benintendi's been in the MLB for a couple years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like I said, I think just to round it out, finish it off, we'll go on to Thuuuuney's Twins. I definitely think this can be a third place team. They do have a lot of potential. They definitely need some more pieces in that pitching staff. But the good thing about the Royals, and I think a lot of people like this about them, they had a good offseason. They're actually trying to put a decent product on the field, even though they probably aren't going to make the playoffs, which is good for baseball. And they have a ton of guys that they get at the deadline for more prospects if it doesn't work out, like Carlos Santana. I mean, they could technically retrade Benintendi, Davis, Holland, Danny Duffy, some of those guys in the pitching staff, Mike Minor. So they're in a really good position. Whether if it works out, it works out awesome. But if it doesn't, they got a lot of trade pieces too.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. A lot of prospects could come back.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting MLB season, man. There's a lot of these teams that are kind of sprinkled in there that aren't gonna make the playoffs probably, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
All right, so we can head on over to the Minnesotan with the Minnesota Twins wearing the Vikings jersey. I love it. Skull. Yes, sir.
Tell us why they're a first place team.
Okay, so let's start with their starting staff. This is super awesome. I was wondering if they were to do this. Barrios has been our opening day starter forever. And Kenta Maeda has just clearly proven that he's the best starter on the team. He gets the opening day nod for the Twins. He completely unbiased, I think, based on the season he had last year. I think he could make a run at the AL Cy Young this year as well. So he's the number one. Jose Barrios, who I hear it every year, is an AL Cy Young candidate. No, he is not. He falls off. The training wheels fall off in July and August, and he becomes a horrible pitcher. He's our number 2, but he'll be great in April. Our number 3 is Big Michael Pineda, who I am really excited to watch. He was formerly a New York Yankee, and he's had mixed success here in Minnesota. He's had steroid stuff going on too, but I think Big Mike is someone that a lot of Twins fans are excited to watch. I'm excited to watch him too. And then the bottom of the rotation is where the excitement completely dwindles away, and we have no idea what's going to happen because we have Jay Happ, we have Randy Dobnak, and we have Lewis Thorpe. That number 4 and number 5 spot is basically like if you went to your local like college and watched some guys pitch. It's kind of like nobody here has explosive stuff. Nobody here is a real big innings eater. Jay Happ is healthy, and he's moderately like the sabermetrics say if Happ doesn't see a lineup 3 times through, he's okay. So hopefully he doesn't see a lineup 3 times through. Randy Dobnak has been throwing good sliders in spring training, but I don't want people to get excited over spring training because they're facing like minor leaguers most of the time. Dobnak, as one of the people in here know, famously at Yankee Stadium, did let me down very bad. So there's Randy Dobnak, and then Lewis Thorpe is awful. I don't think he's good at all. Going over to the bullpen, you have Taylor Rogers, who I think is one of the better relievers in baseball. Alex Colomé pickup from the White Sox. Tyler Dunphy, criminally slept on reliever. Hansel Robles, Anamar is so thankful he's not in LA anymore. But I am so excited to see what he can do here.
He has potential.
Yeah. Jorge Alcala is actually my number 1 guy that I'm excited. It's weird to say you're excited about a reliever above everybody else, but Jorge Alcala definitely has the most explosive stuff in our pen. He was from the Astros organization. I think he could be a very good reliever this year. Other than that, nothing really crazy. Stashak Thielbar. Thielbar had a little bit of a resurgence last year, but what I'm basically expecting that I'll hear everybody else talk about the Twins staff. I think the top end of a rotation is definitely good enough to get the job done. They're not going to blow the doors off other than Kenta, because Kenta's just, I think, one of the best finesse pitchers in baseball right now. Barrios will be great, as I mentioned early on, but if you go on Baseball Reference, his ERA skyrockets when the calendar turns to July and August, but pretty good rotation. Will it keep up with Chicago? I have no idea. What do you guys think about my Twins?
I feel like I have a lot of takes about the Twins. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I really do.
Real quick, just to touch on those 2 former Yankees that you mentioned, I really want to see Michael Pineda have a lot of success in Minnesota. You know this. When Michael Pineda is on and pitching well, it's an extremely fun watch. He throws one of the nastiest sliders in the game. Whether or not he has to touch his neck first to throw it, it's really fun to watch.
Just hide it somewhere better.
J Happ, if you know J Happ is starting, make plans for that day. You do not want to watch. I promise. It is not a fun watch. When J Happ is pitching well, you'll look at his box score. It's 6 2/3. He only gave up 2 runs. It does not feel like he pitched well. When he pitches well, it feels like he threw an absolute just dog shit start. So you don't want to watch him pitch, I promise. But I will say he grew the beard. He's got the gray beard going on. It's definitely a look. Maybe he can throw 94 again for the first time in 6 years. So maybe he finds a little bit of resurgence. But I do think the bullpen's pretty good, and the top part of the rotation is good. But I will say, and if people listening to this remember from our very first episodes, I picked Kenta Maeda as my overrated guy for the Twins. And I only say that based on the offenses that Maeda threw against, because most of the offenses that he pitched against, I think he pitched against maybe 1 above average OPS plus team last year. I bring this up all the time. I'm sure people are sick of hearing it, but that's why he was my pick, because now he's going to have to face the AL West and the AL East with much better lineups. He might regress a little bit.
Yeah, I did have a question. Is Colomé the closer?
No. So what Rocco Baldelli and Wes Johnson started doing a little bit last year is we're not going to have a closer. They're going full blown, whatever the sabermetrics say on the ninth inning, like with matchups, that's who they're going with. Because Taylor Rogers used to hold that role. Tyler Duffy's been in that role at some point. Alcala saw some time there last year. They're going to be going with whatever the stats say.
I was going to say, it looks like you have like 4 potential closers. Honestly, I didn't think your bullpen was this good. It's a lot better than I anticipated. I might be
Tyler Duffy is one of the best relievers that you do not know the name of in baseball. He's so good.
Mm-hmm. No, I see him.
So do you think that real quick, like are the Twins, how badly are the Twins going to miss Trevor May? Not much?
Well, so they picked up Colomé, and to be completely honest, and it's weird because I'm on a stream team with Trevor May, so I should be 100% for Trevor May all the time. But, I mean, he's a good right-handed reliever. He's not a great right-handed reliever. He was showing signs in 2019. His K/9s were the highest that it's ever been in his career. 2020 was obviously a short year. I think he's going to do great in New York. I don't think he's missed tremendously in Minnesota because we would have had to pay him so much that we might not have been able to go after Simmons. We might not have been able to sign some of the other guys in the bullpen that we ended up getting. I don't like that he left, but I don't think he's going to be missed sorely. I do wish him the best in New York, though. I think the Mets got a great reliever.
Yeah, it's exciting.
The Mets needed him more than the Twins did.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And to flip the coin, the Twins needed Kenta Maeda more than the Dodgers needed him because he was a fifth guy in the rotation, long reliever for the Dodgers. Now he comes to Minnesota. He's our number one guy. So it's funny to look at how different teams work.
Yeah, that's what's so frustrating about the Dodgers because you see a guy like Dustin May or Julio Urias or even Tony Gonsolin could go leave that team and be such a stud and a guy that teams rely on. But honestly, they're probably not even get enough innings to be in the Cy Young conversation because they're stuck behind some of the best pitchers in baseball. They don't have a chance to prove that they could be one of the best pitchers in baseball. Like Kenta Maeda was a relief pitcher in the playoffs for the Dodgers because they're so good. Yeah. And he just goes to, he's in the Cy Young conversation. If Shane Bieber wasn't Jesus Christ last year, he would have legitimately had a chance to win it. And the Dodgers frustrate the hell out of me with how good they are, but yeah, I'm pretty high on Kenta Maeda. I don't think facing those weak lineups was that bad. I think the pitching in the AL Central was very, very good. In the AL Central and the NL Central was very good last year. You obviously had the Cy Young Award winner in Trevor Bauer. You had Luis Castillo's very good. Sonny Gray's very good. They weren't facing bad. They were facing like subpar lineups, but I think it also had to do with the pitching that they were facing. Because even a good hitting team like the White Sox wasn't performing up to standards against these pitching matchups. So I'm still pretty high on Kenta Maeda. I think he definitely could be in the Cy Young conversation. I don't have him winning it. Like I said, I think Lucas Giolito's a little bit higher than him, but definitely a lockdown ace. And I'm, like you said, glad he's getting the opening day start there.
Ray, do you have anything you want to add? We haven't let you talk at all. I feel bad.
No, it's all good. I'm trying to like digest a little bit. Jose Barrios, I really like. I mean, that dude, whatever his sliders, curveball, slurve, hell you want to call it, that thing is disgusting, man. Like
it is.
Yeah.
If you could just figure it out, like he could be a top end. I mean, he has the stuff, right? I mean, he has the stuff. It just
so this is a report that came out last year. So the math has said that batters are really picking up the trajectory of his slurve. Like they've seen it for a couple years now. They know that where it's going to end up breaking. So his slurve is a lot higher BABIP against that pitch specifically than any of his other pitches. Yeah. And what he was working on more was his changeup last year. He supposedly was ready to throw a 12-6 curveball along with his slurve last year. He didn't throw it once. He has thrown it a couple times in spring, but I just don't think he has the confidence in that pitch right now. But man, I mean, if he added another legitimate breaking ball that arcs 12-6 with a slurve that cuts horizontally as sharp as anybody else's in baseball, and the fact that he touched 97 on his fastball in spring training, there's reasons to be excited about Barrios. It's just the question every single year is, could he do it for a full 162? I don't think he can this year, specifically because we just got done with 60 and now we're getting acclimated back to 162 again. So I think like we're all high on a lot of pitchers. I think in general, pitching is going to be tough this year. I think we're going to see a lot of guys who we think are really good get to June or July and be like, oh my God, like I forgot what throwing like 15, 20 starts felt like. And then it'll be 25 and then it'll be upper, like not 30, but near 30. And that's one of the things I'm excited to look at this year.
Yeah. I think, I mean, and Barrios is relatively young. I mean, what, he's 27, I think, or 26? 26, I think. So, I mean, he's like, I mean, that's the prime. I mean, that's the technically, you know, the prime of people's career. So, I hope that he does well. I mean, he was very talented as well coming up. So, hope that he, you know, gets it more figured out.
So, I have gone this entire episode and not talked about Baseball Savant one time. So, I'm going to change that. Everyone knows how much we love Baseball Savant.
All hail Baseball Savant.
Exactly. Well, so I was just curious. You know, everyone talks about Barrios' stuff. We're talking about it. Doesn't grade as well as I thought it would on Baseball Savant in terms of spin rate.
No, it does not.
Like 26th percentile in spin rate, 68th percentile in fastball velocity is decent. But even his curve, we're talking about how disgusting it is. And it is it's fun to watch, but 31st percentile in curve spin, really not as high as I thought it was going to be.
I think spin rate's kind of bullshit, if I'm being honest.
What?
I don't think spin rate matters as much as people say it does.
I mean, it has a lot to do with how much it moves and the deception of the pitch.
Okay.
But like, okay, even if you don't believe in spin rate, whiff percentage, he's only league average. Barrel percentage, he's league average. League average in strikeouts, just above league average last year. So, I mean, it has tangible results of this spin rate not being as good. But I will say, and just to be high on Barrios, I talked about this with Jamison Tyone because I'm talking myself into Tyone being like a Cy Young candidate. Tyone, and Raycheesy knows a lot about Jamison Tyone. He's pitched really well for the Yankees in spring training. I'm not going to rub it in, but Tyone is 29. Corey Kluber became an ace at the age of 29. Jose Barrios is 26. He's still got time to figure it out.
So he's still young. Yeah. He's relatively still young.
And one of the things that we're seeing, the resident Twins fan here, but one of the things that I've seen a lot and I've shouted at my TV a lot with Barrios is that he gets like he has great stuff. It's not DeGrom stuff, it's not Bauer stuff, it's not top tier stuff, but it's good stuff. And one of the things that's really frustrating is how he treats the bottom of the order on some teams that aren't very good. Like he will have these random 11 pitch at bats where he could have just gone after them right away. Like he nitpicks a lot and it hurts his pitch count, which then you get to the third or fourth inning, he's already in the 50s or 60s. Like you have to just trust your stuff at some point, and at least early on, try and go after guys and adjust accordingly. But that was Odorizzi's out of Minnesota now, but that was an issue Odorizzi had, was that his pitch count after the first inning was like 21 pitches every time. And it was just like, well, have fun going 3 1/3. Like, I don't know how much further he'll go today.
Your boy J Hap's going to do the same thing. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah,
I'm looking more in depth on the Barrios' stat line with his pitches. It did say 2019 his primary pitch was his fastball, and his fastballs always sucked from the stats at least. But in 2020, his curveball he threw more than any pitch by a long shot. He threw 325 curveballs compared to 286 fastballs. So his put away percentage on it was 26.9%. So he's throwing it for strikeouts a lot, and the whiff percentage was 34.5. So obviously it could be a lot better, but it was by far his best pitch. His changeup's also pretty damn good, but yeah, his fastballs were just getting absolutely shit on. 691 or 780 slugging percentage. Against.
Damn.
Yeah, that's bad. but like looking at starting pitchers, there's elite starting pitchers. There's like all-star caliber starting pitchers. There's like the middle of the road guys. And the issue in Minnesota for so long is that we've had Barrios as our ace, when in reality, on a lot of other clubs, Barrios is maybe a 2, but probably a 3 or 4. Like he just has like his career, like ERA is such a fossil stat, I know, but his career ERA is above like 4.17. He's never had a season where it's been below 4. He had a 3.84, I think, one season, but he's never had like that explosive season. He's just had stretches where it looks like it's working. Will it work this year? I hope so. You mentioned about the prime years of Kluber. Could we be entering the prime of Barrios? As a Twins fan, I hope we are.
Bro, that is literally, you just described Andrew Haney on the Angels. Super stud prospect. Looks like he's going to be amazing. Is this the year he's going to do it? He could be our ace. He could be great. And then 4 ERA. That's literally the same guy.
You mentioned ERA, and I just immediately went to ERA plus just because it's a little bit more of a sabermetric stat. It's park adjusted and everything. So his career ERA plus, he's been above average every year, but barely. 109 last year. So his career ERA plus is at 105. So you're right. I mean, it's kind of, he's just an average guy. He's a 3-4 starter.
Yep.
I mean, are you in favor of like them just like you said, he falls off July, August, especially this year? Should they like skip a lot of his starts and then as one of my lights goes out, like should they push him back a lot? Maybe don't really start to get him going until May, June? That seems like, like the way it would work.
Well, so the plan the Twins have in place, and I could talk about Twins forever, so I will segue mid-comment here into the lineup. If anybody has any other comments on the staff, you can get them in. Just jump in and I'll stop. But the Twins are planning, at least to start, implementing a 6-man rotation. So that will take days off of Barrios. That will give more opportunities for maybe Alcala to get in the rotation a bit. Because the Twins were experimenting with openers last year too. Rocco Baldelli and Wes Johnson are very Tampa Bay Rays-ish, and they're trying to start implementing those new wave ideas into how you bring out pitchers, how many innings people go. And I think 6-man rotation is just the beginning of, like, 2 years from now, I could see the Twins being a very, not like stats-wise and player-wise, but ideology-wise, similar to what Tampa has going on with their staff. And with that, because we'll talk forever if you guys don't cut me off, I will move over to the starting lineup, which I am very high on, except for a couple people. I'll talk about them in a second. We have 2019 Silver Slugger Mitch Garver. Really hope he figures it out. 2020 was weird, but it was weird for everybody. So I think Garver can bounce back this year. Ryan Jeffers, if you're buying rookie cards online, buy some Ryan Jeffers. They're cheap, and he looks very good. So I think Jeffers could be a very good catcher here soon. Everybody knows Miguel Sano strikes out a lot, hits a lot of home runs. Not much else to say there. Brent Rooker looked fantastic last year. He got hurt, but he's most likely to be our starting left fielder come opening day. So Brent Rooker looked very good. Second base is Jorge Polanco, and he was a 2019 All-Star who was playing with bone spurs and about 18 different injuries last year. So I'm not choosing to dig too much into what happened with him last year, but I think he's a very above average offensive middle infielder. The defense sucks, but now the defense is at second and not at short, so that's great. Third base, bringer of range, Josh Donaldson. He's growing his mohawk out that he grew out on his MVP year, so I am very excited. Our shortstop is Simba. We have defense at short. Thank God. We won't have the bat, though. He'll be okay. But it's definitely an upgrade over Polanco. I think in a position like that, where shortstop is one of the most important defensive positions on the team outside of center field, and funny enough, now we just have 2 studs in those positions. I think Simmons is going to be a fun player to watch. I'm not sure if we sign up long-term. I think this might just be a 1-year thing waiting for, well, I guess Royce Lewis got hurt, so never mind on the 1 year. It might be a couple-year thing. I'm not sure. But going to the outfield, I think Brent Rooker will be out there. Jake Cave could be there too. For those at home who don't know what Jake Cave is, think of just a random left-handed bench bat that isn't that impressive, but it's okay. Enter Jake Cave. Center field.
That's former Yankee legend Jake Cave.
Former Yankee legend Jake Cave.
We will have no Jake Cave slander.
He is the White Sox killer. Like, he just destroys the White Sox.
Is. He loves Chicago.
Yeah.
And he also has the best beard in baseball, I think. I think if you're looking at grooming tips on your beard, you should go look at some Jake Cave highlights and maybe take a screenshot and go in front of the mirror.
I need to
need to check that out.
His not that I'm like a giant Jake Cave beard mind, but he had a little bit more of the salt and pepper in 2019. 2019, Jake could have been like GQ Man of the Year. It was a good looking dude. He could hit the ball too. He'll be bouncing in left field as well. Kyle Garlick had a great spring. I'm not putting a ton of stock into it because it's spring training, but if he wows in the actual season, that'll be great. The number one gigantic biggest question on this team is in center field. We all know who he is, Byron Buxton. He recently chipped his tooth eating steak, which is the most Byron Buxton injury I've ever heard. He put on some more weight this offseason, and he's definitely shown it. He's had a really good bat, and he's been great in the outfield. I think if he stays healthy, theme of every team ever, right? I think if he stays healthy, he's an MVP candidate, like Aaron Judge is for the Yankees if he stays healthy. But Byron Buxton in center, Max Kepler in right, who was signed to extension early on, and he has regressed a little bit at the plate. It's really weird. Like 1 year he'll destroy lefties, and 1 year he can't hit them at all. And last year he even struggled versus righties a little bit, but we still love Kepler here. Will he be the long-term answer in right? I don't know. I'm really hoping he bounces back. And then your DH is DH Nelson Cruz. I don't really know what else to say, man. He's father wonder. Time. He's just, man. I don't even think the age is gonna matter. I think the Twins literally, when we signed Nelson Cruz, we built a nap room so that he could go sleep whenever he wanted to, like getting ready for the game, or even if he wanted to lay down in between bats. I don't know if he does that, but he mashes the ball. That's what he does. And it's very good to have our boomstick back at DH, but will the team hit in October? Probably not. Will I get my heart broken? Probably. So let's hear what everybody else has to say about the Minnesota Twins lineup here.
Damn.
Well, I'm curious. Who are the two? You said there were two guys you weren't so high on.
Oh, yeah. So I am a little nervous on Luis Arraez. I know that he's got a really good approach to the plate, but it's just like there's no power there. It's kind of like what Nick Madrigal has going on in Chicago. I'm just not a fan of like guys with no power. Like Arraez, if you played a full 162, might hit 4 home runs. He's got a tremendous approach to the plate. He's a super electric player. But when you don't hit for power and we're so heavy on shifts as we are in baseball, they can play that pretty well. And we saw that in 2020. A lot of his flares that he dropped in 2019 were not falling last year. Will he adjust to it this year? I don't know. I don't really think so. I hope he proves me wrong. The other guy that I'm not super high on is, I kind of talked about it, Max Kepler. I love the guy. Like, if you don't know the Minnesota Twins subreddit, there is a cult-like following to worshiping Max Kepler. He is idolized and pedestalized here. German engineering BMW, Max Kepler. He hasn't performed very well lately. I hope he does, but Arraez and Kepler are my two guys I'm not very high on.
Kepler's a Yankee killer, man. I fucking hate facing that guy.
Yeah. Is Alex Kurloff going to come up at some point this year?
He's batting $188, I think, so he's going down to start in the minors, but he will be up this year, 100%. He's one of our most highly touted prospects, so he just needs some more work, I guess.
I will say with Kurloff.
I would say with the Twins too, I think they have the best tandem of center field, shortstop, fielding wise, like in the league. Like that literally is like in like that's like what you want to build around a team. You know, you have like, these guys. You know, both their center guy, like that's insane. They literally have like,
if you have a single up the middle and a runner on seconds trying to score, good luck.
Yeah.
Buxton to Simmons to the home plate, no chance. Yeah.
No, and Anderson Simmons has like the best baseball IQ I've ever seen in my life. Like the kind of shit that he pulls is like next level, and you'll never expect it either.
I'm thrilled.
Dude, it's definitely fun to watch. His off the field shit. Do not follow him on social media. You will completely be turned off of him as a person, but
that's what I've heard about. Yeah,
very interesting social media presence, but electric to watch defensively and offensively. He doesn't put up the numbers you'd like, but every once in a while he'll do something like hit an absolute monster home run from his knees. He's always doing something. He's kind of like a Hunter Pence guy who doesn't play the game like anyone else, but I don't know, whatever he does, it works. So he'll be a big help there. And then Byron Buxton's on my fantasy team, so I swear to God, if he if he doesn't perform, man,
knock on wood.
I need him. I need this man. Steal 50 bases, please. Yeah, I don't know.
There's something interesting too. Just I looked up Nelson Cruz's stats. This is just a little side gig. This man didn't hit 40 home runs until he was 33 years old.
Yeah, he's a late bloomer.
And then like for 3 straight years, he hit 40 home runs, 39, 37, 41. Like it's just insane. Like the progression that Nelson Cruz had.
That was starting with the Orioles, wasn't it? Like his 40 home run season.
Yeah, 40 home run. Yeah, first one was with the Orioles and then Seattle.
Legend has it, Nelson Cruz and Tony La Russa born on the same day.
Oh.
Same with Justin Verlander.
Oh, jeez.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Jose Bautista had the same kind of thing. He was absolutely garbage until he was I think he was a little younger though, like 27, 28. And then he just absolutely blew up. But he was a nobody.
Edwin Castro, he was more, I think he was more of a somebody, but he was kind of the same thing, you know, really, really late.
Yeah. They both didn't blossom until they hit Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue Jays got something there. And
so
then they killed Troy Tulowitzki.
So I'm not sure if jeez. So I'm not sure if we're going into like AL Central predictions. Mine are just really cut and dry. If Buxton and Donaldson don't stay healthy, the White Sox win the division. If Donaldson and Buxton stay healthy, I think the Twins win the division. I think it very likely comes down to those two guys. Not entirely, like we talked about Barrios earlier, some other guys. We talked about the White Sox too. But I think on paper, right now, as attractive it is to say the White Sox, I still think the Twins are the best team in the Central. But if any of those guys are hurt for an extended period of time, the White Sox are running away with it. That's my thoughts on it, at least.
I feel like the Twins aren't as deep as the White Sox, in my opinion, especially offensively, where I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the White Sox have more room for error than the Twins do. I feel like Byron Buxton has been hurt his entire career, and if he goes down, he's a huge blow to their team, where I don't know. I feel like the White Sox, they still have some prospects to bring up and all sorts of other things. Like the rest of their lineup will pick up. Like for them, if Nelson Cruz goes down, that's a huge power bat to get out. Same thing with Josh Donaldson, like you said. Those are two guys they absolutely need in their lineup. And then defensively, they need Byron Buxton, or else it's a steep drop off after that. So I don't know.
Just real quick, I'm looking at the live chat, and Bray says, on paper, my Indians are coming in last. And as an Indians fan, that hurts my soul.
On paper.
It's great.
Send an F.
As somebody who doesn't have any skin with the last place team, with the Tigers, it's the White Sox's division to lose. I feel like just looking outside of it, not like rooting for any team like Detroit besides Detroit. Like I just feel like the White Sox, it's their division to lose. I mean, I think the Twins could definitely make some noise. Royals, they could get in there as well. But I just feel like the White Sox are they're cut in my opinion.
One thing that I will say with that is like the Twins throughout my entire life, like I can't think of an extremely vocal player that we've had. I mean, we've had a couple guys through here, but the Twins are very, not that it's like a culture that we do, but it's just kind of like the Minnesota way. It's kind of like everybody goes to work and we don't say a lot or do a lot of flashy things. I love the Chicago's talking themselves up like this because I can't wait for the Twins to run all over them because it'll look horrible for Chicago. It'll look great for me. So everybody keep projecting Chicago to win. Tim Anderson keep talking and we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll both be on the couch in October because we'll get swept by whoever we play, but it'll be fun getting there.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I will say when we had Scuffy, I think the Twins and the White Sox are in a similar situation with the Braves and the Mets. And the way Scuffy said, obviously he's a Mets fan, he was like, it's the Braves division until someone proves that they can beat the Braves. And I think it's like, to Thuuuuney's point, I think it's similar with the Twins. Someone's got to beat them before. Like the White Sox have to beat the Twins before we can say it's their division to lose.
Yeah, the Twins have won it 2 years in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I don't want the Twins to win the division and play a postseason series because it's gonna be really fucking boring.
Yeah, I want more postseason games. I want more than 3 games. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm not saying it, but Foolish Baseball replied to one of my tweets a while ago, and he said basically if the Twins win 1, they're just gonna keep rolling. So if we win 1, I'm looking for.
They've been saving up. It's like when you save up like tickets at Chuck E. Cheese's, and they're just like waiting. They're just waiting to cash them in on the World Series. So they're gonna go from getting swept for like 18 years to just sweeping all the way to a World Series.
If I see the Twins in an ALCS, you will all see a video of a grown man bawling his eyes out. I would be so emotional to see a playoff series win. You have no idea. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I feel the same way about the Yankees in the World Series. So I'm 20, and so I was.
Oh, come on, Nick.
I'm
oh my
okay.
God.
Look, I said you're gonna hate me for saying this.
It's
been 11 years. It's been
Boo.
11 years. I was 9 years old the last time the Yankees were in a World Series. I've watched like through 2013 to 2016. Those were the worst Yankee teams of the past like 25, 30 years, pretty easily. So I feel similar in the sense that like you see them in the ALCS. If I see the Yankees in the World Series,
I am
will be
gonna
crying.
kind of agree with him. I know the Yankees have won so much, but I totally like feel with like being a kid and growing up to be an adult, and you haven't seen any win. I mean, you've seen winning in playoff series. I mean, we haven't done S, but I mean, you haven't won a World Series. Neither have I. We have that in common.
Exactly.
You have 27 or 800 whatever in your closet. We have 2, but yeah, I mean we haven't done.
But since I have been alive, we've won 2, and really only 1 because I was born in 2000. So that's the second one. Like one, I remember I was barely like I could barely stay up. I remember them getting the last out of the World Series, but I was not old enough to appreciate it. So that's what I want. So I get where you're coming from, like the ALC, like the get to the Holy Land finally.
I remember the Angels World Series, not very well though. I remember thinking that it was like the Little League World Series where they'd win it and go play like Japan in the World Series. So I was like, we beat the Giants. I was like, we're going to the World Series. We beat them. We beat the U.S. Yeah, that's how young I was when the last time the Angels made a deep playoff run. So 2014.
It must be nice having a World Series in this decade, or at least in this century, I should say, because Pirates haven't been there since 1979, or haven't won one since 1979.
Hey, Thune and I are Vikings fans. We've never seen a Super Bowl.
Oh man, it sucks. I don't care. I'll go toe for toe with anybody. It sucks being a Minnesota sports fan, dude. Oh, it's the worst. It's so bad.
I could never do multiple Minnesota teams. I'm good with the one. It's kind of fun. Okay, I will say this is like a really weird take, but it's kind of fun not having one because once you do get one, assuming it happens in your lifetime, it'll be that much sweeter. Like I don't know what my body would physically do if I saw the Vikings win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, like not to make this a full Minnesota Twins podcast, but like one of my favorite radio stations in town, the host is a Cubs fan, and they were talking one of the days after the Cubs won the World Series, like if the Twins or the Vikings ever won a championship, the Twins have won 2, but like I don't know what we would do around here. Like we haven't seen a championship since 1991. Like it's 2021 right now. It's crazy long that we haven't seen anything. So.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that I'm the most recent World Series in 2015.
Yeah.
And Royals.
The Royals, yeah, that's wild.
Back-to-back World Series in 2014 and 15. It's crazy to think that.
That's wild.
2014, the Angels were the best team in baseball, and it wasn't really close. I think we were fighting with the Orioles, and then we just got absolutely. I don't even know. I think we put up 3 runs in the entire series against the Royals.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have elite starting pitching besides Cueto, and I was
the Royals bullpen on their World Series run was disgusting.
Yeah, if you had
one of the best bullpens of all time, easily.
If you were losing past the 4th inning, you lost the game. Like you're not going to get runs the rest of the way.
Wade Davis, I think, gave up 1 home run in like 80 innings pitched, 90 innings pitched, something like that, with like a .2 ERA. It's ridiculous, man.
That's why I'm excited to have Wade Davis back. Like if we can have Wade Davis and Holland go right back to where they were, then like it's crazy. Like if you add Stallmont, the flamethrower, and like Barlow, it's pretty awesome. I do miss Herrera, but
yeah, he retired. That was sad. I was reading his post.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, me too.
He was craziness.
I honestly cried a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Oh.
Yeah, it's emotional,
The ADH
bro.
trio.
I'll cry when Mike Trout retires. I'll be sad. Retires with one postseason hit and it's a home run. I can't wait, bro.
Hey,
I'm so
the
sorry.
catcher of my Cleveland baseball team has more postseason home runs than Mike Trout. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Heavy hitter Roberto Perez, baby.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Nolan.
The manager of the Cubs has the same amount of postseason home runs as Mike Trout.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
David Ross, baby. David Ross.
So who wants to give their nice little division predictions 1 through 5 here? Do I?
Well, I think Raycheesy has the most stake in this division.
I was gonna say.
Let's I would say so. I mean, okay. I think we can all agree the Tigers are gonna be last. I think we can all agree on that.
Yep.
It's where it goes 1 through 4. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can go on. I personally think the Royals will finish 4th. I would go with the Indians 3rd, White Sox or Twins 2nd, and then White Sox 1st. That's what. So.
All right.
I think that's about what everybody would have it, right? I mean, you could flip flop KC and Cleveland.
Yeah.
You could flip flop the Twins and the White Sox. I don't know. We've won it 2 years in a row. Why not make it 3? But yeah.
So I'll okay. Tigers in 5th. I still like their team though. They're gonna be a fun team to watch. I like a few guys on that squad. They're pitching so disgustingly ugly. I will put the Indians 4th. I do not feel confident in that lineup one bit. I don't think they can do it. I really don't think they can do it. And Mick Miller himself has said that he's not as high on their pitching as most people are because they were facing weak opponents, as he stated. So I don't personally believe that, but at the end of the day, I'm high on the Royals and I'm not high on the Indians, so it's kind of tough there.
Yes,
and
sir.
You know what? Indians should be happy to know that I'm putting them in 4th place so they get a better draft pick like they're going for. It's, they accomplished their goal. Where the Royals tried hard to boost their stock a little bit. I don't really know why they're paying people to play in 3rd place, but we'll take it. We'll put them in 3rd.
For entertainment value, dude. Come on.
Yeah, right. Got to sell out.
I mean, they're not super big contracts either, so like, like the Santana one is probably the biggest one. They're not a big money spending organization. They take what they can get, and they play small ball. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it works every 30, 40 years.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. At least
as long as it works, man. I'll take a World Series. If I could guarantee a World Series every 30 years, I will take that any day of the week, man. That is I'll be fine waiting for that. So that would mean the Minnesota Twins in 2nd and the White Sox in 1st, as much as it hurts my boy Austin to hear. But
no, I keep hearing 2nd place makes me happy. I like low not that 2nd place is low expectations, but
that's how I feel.
Give me 2nd place so I can. Because then when the banners hung and we win the Central, guess who's gonna be blowing up all your Twitter DMs?
Yeah, dude, without a doubt, without a doubt.
How about it?
That's why I will. You'll never hear.
The thing is, like the Twins can just absolutely crawl their way to 2nd place in this division.
Yeah.
So like that's floor, but I don't know if I think their floor and their ceiling is the same. I don't know how that makes sense, but like I just can't
wait to watch their series versus Chicago. It's going to be must watch for a lot of people around baseball. It'll be must watch, especially if you get the top 3 like Giolito, Keuchel, and Lance Lynn. I don't know if Lance Lynn is their 3. It might change throughout the year with Dylan Cease looking good, and then you get Kenta, Barrios, and Big Mike. I think that would be a hell of a 3-game series for even a casual fan to tune into.
I agree.
Oh, dude, without a doubt. My Angels have to start the season against the White Sox, and I'm going to be depressed that first week after we get swept.
We get to start against the Rangers. I'm excited.
3-0.
Exactly.
Oh man, I did just realize that the Blue Jays play in Florida, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together that the Angels are going to be here the second week of April. So I get to go to an Angels game, and I'm getting vaccinated tomorrow, so I can confidently go to an Angels game.
Oh, hey, there you go.
I'll see you down there, dude.
Yeah, right, man. Just cruise out.
Break down the border.
I can't wait, man. Can't wait. So yeah, that's my predictions. I think it's a little hot take to put the Indians in 4th. I like to spice things up a bit.
I like it.
I can go next just because I have such a big stake in this division as a Cleveland baseball team fan. I kind of agree with exactly what Ray said. I know that's the popular pick, and so it's Tigers. I just think the Indians are going to pitch their way to 3rd place. As much as the front office of the Indians doesn't want that to happen. So I got Tigers, Royals, Indians. And I know I said that it's the White Sox have to prove that they can beat the Twins, but I just don't see, like you said, if Buxton or Donaldson goes down, it's doomsday for the Twins. So I got to put Twins 2nd, White Sox 1st. And I say that wanting a postseason series with the White Sox because they might have a chance to win, unlike the Twins.
Oof.
Ouch.
You know, the best thing is it doesn't even, like, a couple years ago, I would have been clawing through the camera to go fight on the other side. But now, I mean, we suck. I know. It's all right.
No, see, like, if I'm the Yankees, like, if the Yankees have to play the AL Central winner in the postseason, then I want it to be the Twins because they can book it to the next round. But, like...
After that, you might have to actually play a baseball.
I'm gonna watch Aroldis Chapman blow the season for us again, so that'll be fun. I can book it.
It's fun to watch, man. It's must see. It gets clicks, man. It gets clicks. It's must see content. There's something you can just guarantee every year. It's the Twins getting swept, Aroldis Chapman giving up a big time home run, whether or not it loses the game or not.
Yeah.
I also have to put a disclaimer out. If the Twins win a playoff game, excuse my barrage of texts saying that we're going to the World Series because I'm gonna be on cloud 9, dude. If it probably won't happen, but I would be on cloud 9 if it happened.
Guaranteed tears. Guaranteed tears.
Yeah.
So Nick, you got your projections for
Nick,
us?
God.
Yeah, my predictions will go 1st place the White Sox. Same thing. If I'll have the Twins in 2nd, but if Cruz goes down, or no, what am I saying? If Cruz stays healthy and the whole team performs well, I think they could definitely battle the White Sox for 1st. But if Cruz goes down, then obviously they're going to stay 2nd. Like same with Donaldson. No bias. The Royals 3rd. I like their team a lot more. I feel like they're more a complete team than the Indians. Even though their pitching staff isn't as good, they have a way better lineup, in my opinion. And obviously the Cleveland baseball team will be 4th and the Tigers 5th.
No love for Ray's team. It's just tough.
God, you guys, man. It's
I'm
tough
sorry.
it's tough being a Tigers fan, man. Goodness.
At least I love the Pirates.
I will say I want like Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize to shove. I want them to be really good.
Me too. I have Casey. I have like 800 Casey Mize rookie cards.
So
let's get Casey Mize going.
All right. So Thune, tell us how the Twins are a 1st place team.
Sell us.
Well, so I think on paper, if we went through each position, the Twins have a better catcher, whether it's Jeffers or Garver. I think that they're better at the catching position. 1st base is leaning towards Chicago, obviously with Jose Abreu. Sano, I have no idea what we're getting with Sano. He's shown signs that he could be. This is sounding crazy, but I mean, I would be excited about a 260 average because that probably means that he's putting up near 40 home runs, if not more. Good RBIs, and he's had a good batting average with runners to scored position in his career. So advantage White Sox with 1st base, advantage Twins at 2nd. I think Nick Polanco is significantly better than Nick Madrigal for the reasons I talked about with the rise. I don't think low contact guys have a long or like a high ceiling in Major League Baseball as it plays right now because of the shifts that are employed. It's really easy to play guys that don't have a ton of power. Shortstop, obviously Tim Anderson offensively better than Simmons. Simmons better defensively. Overall, Anderson has the edge over there. But then third base, I think even though Moncada is an MLB The Show legend, and even though Moncada's shown really good signs in his career that he can be a legitimate third baseman, I don't think COVID's an issue anymore. I hope not, at least, but I still think Donaldson, regardless of all that, is better than Moncada is. And then you head out to the outfield. Eloy's better than it's basically like going through every position. It's like back and forth. I will die on this hill though. If Robert and Buxton play the exact number of games, Buxton will be the better center fielder than him. I guarantee he will be. And then heading into right field, that's kind of a revolving door. Not really for the Twins, but overall, I think if you're looking at both lineups, I think they're both fantastic. If on paper we're saying both of them play tomorrow and they're both 100% healthy, I think both are going to perform really well. I think Kenta Maeda showed that he could perform very well against Chicago last year, and Giolito is the ace of the White Sox staff, but he has not pitched well against the Twins. I just feel like really the only edge Chicago has is the bullpen. I think their lineup, you can make arguments both ways. Their staff, I think you can make arguments. The argument changes if Cease looks good, if Kopech looks good, but those are kind of unknowns right now. We're kind of basing on what we know heading into the season. And I think the Twins have the edge in everything but the bullpen. But this is the beauty of talking on March 23rd and not June 23rd. This could be a completely different conversation once we've seen these guys play. But as it stands right now, I think the Twins are the better team.
Did you just say that Mitch Garver's better than Yasmani Grandal?
100%.
No.
100%.
No. Why? Where? How?
No.
100%.
I think if I'm being honest, I think you did a pretty good job of hiding your bias, except for catcher and first base, because Yasmani is definitely better than Garver, and Abreu is miles better than Sano, just because he's more consistent.
He said Abreu was better.
No, he was fine.
He did,
but
he said it like
I'm going to be
slightly.
honest. The whole time I was just thinking about Yasmani. I couldn't get off my mind. I was like, yeah, Buxton, whatever. Yasmani. So
home runs, RBIs, OPS, slugging. What do you want to take a bet on? I guarantee Garver will be better than Yasmani.
Just in 2019? Oh, in this year. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but he sucked last year. He was really, really bad, and Yasmani has a track record.
Christian Yelich sucked last year. You're trying to tell me Christian Yelich is going to suck in 21?
I mean, he had bad stretches, but he came back. Mitch Garver doesn't have a track record. He has a 2019 season, and then God knows what after that.
I think Garver's better than Yasmani Grandal.
I liked Garver going into last year, but I don't know. There's nothing that tells... definitely not better than Yasmani Grandal, but I don't know. I don't even know if he's going to be a good catcher.
I don't even know if it's a hot take to argue these two guys. They're not like elite. They're not top tier catchers in base. I don't think Grandal's a good catcher, but I don't think he's anywhere near the conversation of like Realmuto or some of those other guys like that.
I was just about to ask you, do you think Garver is better than Realmuto?
He's statistically the second best, best catcher in baseball. Yasmani Grandal.
The best catcher in the AL Central's in Kansas City. So I mean, you have that going on right there.
Maybe in 2015.
Because I know Nolan is so disgustingly high on Yasmani Grandal, and Yasmani Grandal's had a good career. I'll give it to him. But I'm kind of with Thune. I'm not saying Garver's better than Grandal, but I'm not as high on Grandal as Nolan is. So I'm kind of with Thune on this one.
Well, Mitch Garver's had a better season than
he's
ever had.
Yeah,
so
he's had one. It's just a track record thing. I feel like with Yasmani.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it consistently for years.
Yeah, we know Yasmani Grandal is going to be good. I'm not high on Mitch Garver one bit. I don't even know if I'd put him in the top 10 of catchers. His ceiling is in the top 5, top 3 of catchers, but his floor is like
his ceiling
20th.
is one of the best. His ceiling is one of the best offensive catchers in baseball.
But I think he has a very low floor.
Yeah,
I think he has a very low floor. I think he could hit under 200 and honestly be platooning with Jeffers by the end of the year. But he could also be winning the Silver Slugger and be absolutely insane like he was in 2019. I just have a lot more confidence in Yasmani Grandal, and I don't think Mitch Garver's earned that title of being in. I think Yasmani Grandal is the second best catcher in baseball, defensively and offensively. When it comes down to it, he's the most well-rounded catcher besides JT Realmuto, and JT Realmuto obviously has the speed and a higher OPS and whatnot. But I don't know.
I think the White Sox are going to miss James McCann. I think they're going to miss him a lot. That's one of, I don't think that was a good move by Chicago at all to like get rid of or let James McCann walk. And it was a great move by the Mets to pick him up.
I'm not high on James McCann.
I don't really?
I love him as a second. I love him as a second to Yasmani. He's perfect, but he's not a guy. He was too good as a backup catcher to stay as a backup catcher. I think that's why they didn't retain him. Because you're not going to pay your backup catcher however much the Mets are paying him. I can't even remember.
Plus, the Mets would rather have James McCann than Wilson Ramos.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catcher's such a weird position in baseball. I do agree. It's going to be a very different conversation after this year. I'm very high on guys like Sean Murphy who haven't really showed out yet but have a lot of potential. I'm not sure how I feel about guys like Mitch Garver or Travis d'Arnaud who have had stretches of being good but haven't quite been that proven. So I think catcher is a very interesting position in baseball going into this year.
I think Mitch Garver and Gary Sanchez are extremely similar players, right?
Yeah, very low floor, very high ceiling.
Not good defensively, tons of pop. I think because Garver's season in 2019 was so good, I feel like Twins fans are going to be in the same boat as Yankees fans are with Sanchez. And you know that he can carry a team when he's right, but is he going to be right enough to make him one? Because Gary Sanchez has the potential to be the best catcher in the American League, like by far, if he's right. But you don't see him being right enough. I think Garver has the potential to turn into the next Gary Sanchez. So that's why his floor is so low, but his ceiling is so high.
I think Gary's floor is lower than Garver's, though. Their ceilings are...
Sure, their floors might be different levels, but both of them have potential to be the best catcher in the AL, and both of them have floors of being awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have something to add about James McCann. We talked about him a couple minutes ago, but I've been looking at Yasmani Grandal, Mitch Garver, Realmuto, and James McCann. Their stats for 2020. James McCann had a higher OPS than all three of those guys. Higher than Realmuto and Grandal. Yeah, he had a higher OPS than all three of them.
Sorry, great catcher.
But okay, so you didn't give us your full-on 1 through 5 picks.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Wow, this is spicier than I thought it was. Shoot.
I thought you were talking about the water you're drinking.
I'm Minnesotan, dude. Sorry. All right, so I think Detroit is at 5th. I think I've been kind of swayed by what I've heard. I thought Cleveland with their pitching staff could go well, but I'm going to go Cleveland 4-3. And then Chicago 2, Twins 1. I have to do that, but I'm excited. Wow, this is really spicy.
Could you say that one more time? It lagged out on my screen. Could you say it one more time?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, sorry. Yep, my bad. So, Tigers 5. I was swayed by what I heard about the Royals, so I'm going to put Cleveland 4, KC 3. Okay, there's 2 scenarios that could play out this year. Actually, there's 3. I'll go through them super quick. Scenario 1 is the Twins regress horribly. They get hurt really bad. I could see it's not going to be maybe a wild card standing, but I could see the Royals sneaking up to 2 if the Twins got hurt and regressed that badly. White Sox at 1. What I think is going to happen: Twins 1, White Sox 2, Royals 3. But I don't think the White Sox regress to the point where KC catches up with them. But they could catch KC, could catch up to the Twins if the Twins have those injuries I talked about. If Barrios regresses like he usually does. Injuries are always for every team. If tomorrow Luis Robert got hurt, if Tim Anderson got hurt, we're talking about the White Sox differently. But the Twins have the injury history there, which is why I'm concerned and why I think a lot of people have the White Sox finishing over the Twins.
It's funny that you mentioned the Royals finishing in second because Nick and I have a bet going that if the Royals finish in second, I have to buy him a jersey. And if Jameson Taillon gets a single Cy Young vote, he has to buy me a jersey. So that's our ongoing bet for now.
Well, there you go.
It was the Yankees make. I thought your side of the bet was that the Yankees make the World Series. That's what I thought it was.
No, because I talk about how Jameson Taillon's a Cy Young candidate every time on this podcast. I thought the bet was, because I think there's a higher chance of Taillon getting Cy Young votes than there is of the Royals finishing in second. So that's what I thought the bet was, but I could be wrong.
Okay, that's what the bet can be.
Okay. So that's side
Check
note.
your Tommy
You go
John
back
part
and watch
3.
that.
Yeah, clip it. So this is about usually the point of the podcast where we're about to wrap it up. We each gonna give one hot take, and then we'll get out of here.
One AL
We can do it.
Hot take.
Yeah, we could do it reverse order, or where we start with Thune and end with Ray, unless someone just desperately wants to go first.
I don't have a
I don't
hot
have
take yet.
anything off the top of my
I gotta
head.
think.
I know.
like
I gotta
we-
think of something.
I feel like we kind of normalized our hot takes. I feel like the Indians being fourth and the Royals being third is a very hot take that a lot of people would have a problem with, but I feel like we kind of talked that one out. And we're all on the same page with that. You got one, Mick?
Oh, I was just saying, like Ray and I both had Cleveland third, Royals 4.
Oh, you guys both did? Huh.
So we're split. I mean, I'm a Cleveland baseball team fan. I had to, just like you had to put the
point.
Twins in first.
It's a fair point.
But I don't know. I just think I kind of so Thune said best catcher in the American League Central is Salvador Perez, and I think 2021 Salvador Perez has the best year out of Garver, Yasmani, and him himself. I'm gonna go Salvador Perez is the best catcher in this division in 2021. It's my hot take.
Thank you.
My hot take will be that could we add it? Okay, I'm gonna say it anyway and just regress if you guys say anything. If Buxton plays over 150, we'll say 150 games. If he plays 150 or more, he will hit 35 home runs or more, and he will win the AL MVP. It's my
Buxton with
hot take.
35 home run pop? Damn.
He's changed his swing the last couple years, and he still has a lot of power. Like, he had some StatCast home runs that were just, I mean, he doesn't look like he can hit the ball 450, but he can hit the ball 450 if he barrels it up pretty well.
I want you to be right. Give me that in MLB The
man.
Show 22. Give me that Byron Buxton MLB flashback, MVP flashback card. I want that.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be so
yeah.
good.
Too bad you're going to get a Shohei
Ooh.
Ohtani flashback MVP
Ooh.
card for 2021, but
I got one.
you know what? Oh, I got one too.
I got one.
Nick seems very excited, so go ahead,
does.
Nick.
We never talked about this when we talked about the Royals, but I completely forgot about it. Bobby Witt Jr. He was sent back to AAA, just to get some spring training or get some minor league reps in before he jump ship to the major league roster. My hot take is that he steals the American League Rookie of the Year award.
From who?
I would love
I
to
guess
see it.
Kelnick, I guess, would be the favorite.
He'll steal it from Randy Arozarena.
No, I actually said that. I actually have a video that I was going to post tomorrow, but I put Zach. It was going to be awards projections, but I projected Zach Gallen to win the Cy Young, so I have to refilm it.
Oh damn!
So yeah, I had that similar hot take. I'm going to also go with an awards hot take though, and say that Eloy Jimenez wins the American League MVP.
I like that take.
He's that good.
I like
He has 50 home run pop. He could easily hit around 300. He could have an over 1,000 OPS season. He's that good. He's a freak of nature, like Aaron Judge, like I talked about, and he's surrounded by goons in that lineup, so that you can't really pitch around him. I think he's in a very good situation to be able to put up an MVP season.
It's gonna suck when you're both wrong and Vlad Jr. wins the MVP. I'm just saying.
All right, man.
If I have to go with a hot take, this is just off the top of my head, so don't kill me here. Jose Abreu repeats as MVP. I mean,
Right.
he's honestly received MVP votes almost his entire career, and
Yeah.
obviously he won it last year. So
He's a silent assassin, man. He's a very, very good hitter.
A lot of people don't talk about him.
I had
He's
him
just
his
been very
rookie year
consistent
when
the last
nobody
couple
knew
years.
about him when he came over from Cuba, and my God, dude, I think I got him in like the 12th round of my fantasy draft, and he was an absolute monster. And he's been
Yeah.
putting up those numbers every year without saying anything.
Yeah, five of his 7 years he's received MVP votes. So
yeah, he's just really flown under the radar. The only reason I really knew about Abreu coming up was because I have a Topps Chrome prospect card of Jose Abreu from 2013.
Well, he made his debut the same year Tanaka made his debut because I remember I had both of them on my fantasy team, and they were both just fucking monsters. I think the rest of my team sucked, but both of them were so good it didn't matter. Yeah. I think so. I don't know who won the Rookie of the Year that year. Was it Abreu?
He did.
It was Abreu. Yeah.
Okay.
Abreu.
Yeah, put a monster season that year.
He hit it crazy. He's like produced that almost every year as well, except 2018 was like the one year he wasn't.
The only year he batted under, he had an OPS of under 800 was 2018.
Yeah.
I like how Nick's learning. I feel like he was about to talk about batting average, and then he switched to OPS real quick.
I would never.
Yeah, right? Batting average? Disgusting. All right, so I think that's gonna just about do it for us tonight. You guys, thank you for joining us, of course, Thuuuuney and Ray. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to go check them out on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter. If you guys see our Twitter posts, we'll be tagging them there. Be sure to go follow them. And yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And this has been the Diamond in the Rough podcast. We'll see you guys all in the next one where we're going to be talking about the American League West Division. See you guys later.